please don't hear any of this, Brad.
And Dad's like, I got the fuck out of there. I was like, oh man, you didn't partake?
Do you fear death?
Oh, one of the greatest lines of all time.
I could have chopped it. I could have chopped it.
Trumpinator 2020.
Making me 30 sides of red sauce.
Listened to so much. Are you
That needs two, motherfucker.
All right. You know, Nicole, I was really hoping that this would end up being episode 69, but
what episode are we
68.
at? Cut!
I know. You all want to do a mini one real quick?
You could do, yeah. Just post the intro in and then cut it. And then...
Yeah, episode 68. Yeah, we could force that. Now, I was supposed to do one this week that we pushed out. It's going to be Coach Harper from the Farmington Cardinals. I want to talk to him. He got hired when we were seniors. He's been there ever since. He's been there 25 years, you know. And obviously that program has changed a lot since we were there. And he was going to come on and talk about it. But holidays.
But holidays.
Well, thank you guys for coming. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you guys. Austin, you can dip in and out of camera as you see.
Oh,
we don't even have Nicole on camera.
Oh my
You're gonna have to
There
lean
we
forward.
go.
Oh, you gotta get.
I didn't have a live audience
Holy
to test
crap.
this with.
That's horrible. It's
I know.
tragic.
Should we call this an episode and then restart with a camera move? Should we wrap episode 68?
I mean, we've been on 60 seconds,
Been fun.
so okay.
Let's do it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fix the camera for
I love it.
All right, here we are, episode 69.
69!
Just got wrapping up 68.
That was a good show we did.
was a good
right
show.
Are you okay with you being cut out a little?
Oh, well, that's the compromise, but we get more Nicole, but yeah, I'll lean forward.
No,
That's good.
there you go. That's
Just scoot to the chair.
Let's, yeah, I could do that.
Is this the most people you've had?
Let's
on
get
the show?
cozy. No, hey, how many do we have, Dr. Staley, with that
We may
the
have
chaos? I think we had 8.
I think we had 8.
Oh man.
We did. We still,
well, I don't
we still
think-
have 8. I still got one
Four.
coming.
6.
We can round him off the end.
Yeah, there was no room on the couch, and we were all kind of.
Well, we also had that dog jumping over everybody too. That was
we didn't have that.
he's been banned. We got the mics hanging. That worked well in the past.
Well, that's new. I like that.
We did that for a Cardinal cast and it worked really well.
Ingenuity.
If
That's
Brittany
good.
was on camera, we'd have 8.
I'm
like Thank
a
you.
silent partner, you know, like they're just gonna
Oh, but she will talk, so we
I
at
know
least
how that solid
established.
partner crap goes. I got screwed by one of them.
Oh, really? Now you want to talk about this? Okay. What a fucking year, man! What was the wildest thing of 2024? Thank you for being here.
Wildest thing
It
of
was a
2024.
wild year. What was the wildest thing for you?
Nobody died, so that was great.
Nobody
Well,
important to you. Like,
nobody
you've had a lot of
family-wise.
No
pass.
family died. Nobody.
Well, no family died.
No
I did
close
have friends die, but
But
yeah.
fuck them. I mean,
I mean,
no
Somebody
family.
died. That's
There's-
kind of like the
I
point.
mean, I had
That's
some
what it is.
friends.
there's levels, but you know, the Christmas wasn't any smaller this year, so
Right.
that was pretty cool.
A lot of stress with the Christmases.
Not for me.
I feel like
It was
the
great.
stresses are going up,
this year.
and I want to come around to that. What about you? What was 24? Was it crazy? Like, was the
I think
craziest
with
thing?
the biggest thing for me, and we don't have to get crazy with it. That election just blew me away. I'll be honest. It
agree.
really
Well, there were
just blew
so
me
many,
away.
so many
Twists and
weird. Yeah, like if you were writing a television show, you couldn't have done it much better.
True.
So like sum up, like what were the main events for you from like
Biden dropping out.
okay from then on?
From then on, it was just
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
So for me, that was I'm a big Politico, so that was like a big.
When
thing
did
for me.
Biden drop out?
It was June, wasn't it? July.
Way too late.
Well, that was post. Was that?
It was right after that first
Right,
debate.
first debate, so it'd be July.
Yeah.
But it was after the assassination attempt, because that was in June, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was after.
Yeah.
Because that was for me. That was mine. Like that assassination attempt that day. Like
Let's
when
just
that
call it
happened.
this whole election cycle.
Yeah.
You know, a presidential candidate had 2 assassination attempts. Has that ever happened?
No, not my. I mean, not in my lifetime.
Not in
but
my
it's-
lifetime.
No, it's normally just the one, and sometimes it's
Usually,
successful,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
sometimes it's not.
But I wonder about that. You know, you see these TV shows and you move to Plan B or you move to Plan C, or was this a situation where the puppeteers were like, "Hold on, let's see how this goes."
I think it was to see how it goes.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you think that the order's been stayed by whoever the?
Maybe. Yeah, the order's been stayed.
Do you think it's possible that Trump set it up? Because you know that narrative, like the Trump.
No. I don't think that's
Because that's putting a lot of faith
that.
in
No,
somebody.
that would require like planning, which is not a strong suit. So it would require a plan,
Right.
I would give you
and competent people to make it happen.
a huge conspiracy. You ready for it?
Let's drop it.
They were both random people, and there was no conspiracy.
I don't think that's too far fetched.
Now, at the end of the day, that's really what I believe.
But at the same time,
But it's also I love a good conspiracy theory, though.
if they were random people, then I do think that when you escalate rhetoric to the point of saying this is basically Hitler, wouldn't you be a hero if you stopped the next Hitler? I don't think that's healthy. I think that probably
no.
encourages some of this madness.
Nope. All right, sorry, I got us off topic there.
That's good stuff. What about you, Mr. Brooks? What
I
was the
think all that
craziest thing?
stuff, but I did have a person die in the family, which was Mom, and that was in March.
Tough one.
That was into March, so
Yep.
that was probably the big thing. I mean, the
your dad
assassinations,
still
the
around?
election. No, he died in 2016.
Yeah, he'd already.
So Mom was at a facility like Butterfield Trail in Fayetteville, but it was called Meadowlark,
Yeah.
Manhattan, Kansas. And so she had her own apartment and independent living. And then just after Christmas, around February, she just got this infection and just continued to go downhill, would go
Spiral
up,
out.
would go down. So
Yeah.
we were in Kansas a lot. So yeah, that sort of trumps
Yeah.
everything for me.
Certainly.
That'd be number one.
But yeah, there's a lot of
What is
stuff
that like? Both of my parents are still alive. I got a lot of friends who have lost one or both.
Yeah.
And so it's something I can't really fathom. Until like, what was it like when both parents are gone? Is it feel
It's weird.
pretty-
It's weird. And yeah, a lot of my friends, they still have both parents. And you would think of any of the parents, my parents would be the ones still be alive. But no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, it was weird when Dad died, weird when Mom died, because there's different things you want to color about. Like, it could be a ball game or
Sure.
something like that.
Certain
And you
things,
wind
yeah.
up and you're in the bathroom peeing. And you're talking to yourself. I don't know. That's when I think about the stuff the most, I guess. But yeah, you start thinking about your mom or
Yeah.
something you want to tell her, and it's like, crap, can't do that.
Yeah. That's it.
So it's
Different
strange.
level of emptiness,
And then,
yeah.
so this was our first Christmas here in Fayetteville, because we'd always go to Kansas, the parents' house. And so my two sisters and myself and our families would go. So yeah, this year it was just in Fayetteville with the kids and stuff, and their significant others.
Yeah.
So it's like the start of a new thing.
It's sort of the start of a new
Everybody's
thing.
coming to your house now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different chapter.
So
but
we
yeah.
had to plan all these events to keep everybody entertained,
Yeah.
like Top Golf one night,
Yeah.
on I think that was Christmas Eve or something like that. Top Golf and
Well, when you talk about like say like our grandparents level, they're kind of the unifying force that holds everything together.
Yeah.
Right. Like once I lost my grandparents, the next generation was not as good or as capable of getting everyone together, and things just kind of parse out. And so as you start losing, then that parental level.
Yep.
Right. You gotta really put in that work. It's I still, my dad helps me out all the time. I just can't imagine a day when it's like, oh, I can't call Dad,
This
Yeah.
was the second Christmas that me and my sister didn't really do anything for Christmas.
Really?
Like before, it was like it was. You talk about unifying factor
Right.
and stuff.
You got that
My
common.
mom, basically, everybody went to her house for the Christmas celebration and stuff. My sister has kids, and they have kids, and she's a grandmother, and like the whole thing. And they live well below Central Arkansas, and I'm just like,
You should want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just it just hasn't happened. Like I told her, we texted back and forth on I think it's Christmas Eve, and I said, she's like, well, we didn't know who was hosting here and blah blah blah, but you're more than welcome to come. And I was like, well, it's 4 p.m. on Christmas Eve, so and I just we communicated that we need to communicate better if we're gonna actually hang out for Christmas. But
Right on.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. To his point, I mean, that doesn't go away. You always end up thinking about, like, there's sometimes I pick up my phone to call my dad about something, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's dead. So,
Yes, he is.
but that doesn't go away.
Yeah. Dr. Staley just sitting here psychoanalyzing everybody.
Try not to.
Putting in
Another one of these, I'll be fine. So
putting it in the bank.
Feel free.
What was your wildest moment of this year?
you know, oddly enough, it has to do with work and politics at the same time. So
Sure.
you know, 4 years ago, when Biden was elected, I was expecting a mass amount of craziness from my patients, and it really didn't materialize quite like I had anticipated. I had a couple of people who threatened to leave the area, but not many. But I will tell you, since November, I have had more people in my office in tears over the election
Really?
than I ever once imagined. So that was probably the wildest thing for me this year. Is just
Are these rational or irrational fears that they have?
it's a combination.
Right.
I mean, it really is. So it's a combination of
Because fear is a powerful propaganda weapon.
Yeah.
And both sides use it to make fear of what happens if my dad doesn't make it. The other side's going to do this and this and this.
No,
and I think
it is. I mean, there's some real, there's some not real. I mean,
Sure.
you know, I deal with individuals that are on the LGBTQ
Yep.
spectrum, and those individuals are even more fearful than a lot of others. But I've got people that aren't on that spectrum that are more fearful than that.
Right.
So I mean, it's and I can't figure out the whys for them. So I mean, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But it's kind of been wild this year. I've had more people tell me they're leaving the country than I think I have.
Where's the office?
For me, Springdale.
Okay.
So,
Sounded like Fayetteville to me.
well, I'm technically right on the border. So, I mean, I have as many Fayetteville patients as I do Springdale patients. My cases range Washington County, Benton County primarily, but I have people as far south as Mena, as far east as Newport, so, and as far north as St. Louis, far west is almost Oklahoma City.
When these people are leaving the country, where are they going?
Most of them aren't actually going anywhere, to be quite honest.
Right. Typically not.
I mean,
Like-
typically they're not going anywhere. I mean, most of them are talking about going to Canada. Is where they're currently talking about going.
We'll wait till they make that a 51st state.
Yeah, that was not where I was going with that one, but yeah, but that's where a lot of them were talking about going.
Yeah.
Most of the handful that were talking about leaving the country 4 years ago were actually looking to go down to Central America. That's where they were all looking to go. So,
Safe, very safe.
Safest place on earth.
Yeah, it's very safe.
Well, there's parts of it that are, I'm sure.
yeah. So yeah, it's kind of that's where they're looking at, anyways, going that direction.
It's such a wild. So, how long have you been doing this? You told me last night. I can't remember.
20 years.
20 plus years, though,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever graphed out, like, if you visualize it in your mind, like the mental health? Would you say it just is going up exponentially year over year?
I don't know if I'll go exponential, but it definitely is growing, and it's been even more since 2020. I mean,
Sure.
I go back and look at what was going on in 2019 and earlier, and it's a completely different ball game since 2020.
So there was a bigger jump around then.
You look at most likely, I mean, the real numbers are, in around 2019, the numbers were about 1 in 4 individuals were dealing with some kind of mental health crisis or mental health condition. That number now is 1 in 2.5, something along those lines.
So it's more than doubled.
Yeah, it's come close to doubling or a little bit more.
What about between, say, like 2000 and 2020 in that span? Was there a rapid?
I mean, there was an increase between 2000 and 2020, but there wasn't anywhere near the rise that we're seeing now. I mean, this
And you think that's related to like political fear mongering and just political
Oh man,
things in general, or
it's
what?
so many. It's not just politics.
A lot of
It's-
factors.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. I mean,
Right.
You know, you get back to COVID and the fear that came from it. You take the social isolation that came from it.
Right.
You start talking about kids and oh, good gravy train.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got individuals that are teachers that teaching these like 5-6-year-olds in kindergarten, first grade, and talking about how this year and last year, those kids starting kindergarten and first grade are much different than any other group of kids. They're less socialized. They're more feral, I guess is a better way of kind of saying it. They have less social skills.
Yeah.
So
Unintended or unthought of or uncared for consequences of what happened there.
it just was unintended consequences, and there's only so much we can do about it. And the other downside is there's only so much of folks like me to
Sure.
provide help. And
How do you plow through that? Like, how do you get to the other side? What's the solution for this?
oh man,
Because you can't. I mean, a lot of the things you're talking about are outside of people's control. Right?
Yeah, I mean the solution. The solution is a return to civility. I mean, just being real honest.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
the ability to have civil discourses
Ah.
and civil disagreements.
Yeah.
I am very, very, very cautious in my office. I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. I
Yeah.
don't talk money. Those are things that just. I mean, we talk about them, but we don't
Yeah.
discuss them. It's
Yeah, I
more,
get it.
it's more them kind of telling me how they're impacting their lives. But
Right.
the fact that people can't disagree, and
Yeah.
I mean, we got to figure out how can we.
It's really unfortunate because the
Disagree.
people I disagree with the most politically are some of the most entertaining people in my life. Like, he's a great example. Like, Green and I don't.
These two guys right
We
here.
disagree a lot with political shit, but
We
my
have
God,
civil-
we agree on so many things, and we have such great conversations and things like. I mean, God, you remember talking Star Wars ad nauseum, just fucking theorizing and nerding out. You know, that kind of shit is so important. Whereas politically, I don't know, it doesn't affect us as much as we think it does, especially federal politics, right?
Yeah.
Whereas everybody wants to focus on federal, what actually does affect you is the local shit, which nobody pays attention to. And that's where the problems get started, is at the local level.
I had since Megan, this is like one of her biggest elections to vote in. You know, for the first time.
Is
We
this her
had-
first time voting?
It was her first presidential.
First presidential.
Yeah,
So
she
she's,
voted in the midterm
so she's
last time.
20 now or 21? She's
She's 21.
Yeah, that's right.
But I was basically trying to get off the national
Yeah.
politics
Yeah.
and tell her, you know, local elections matter and you have to stay on top of it. And the reason it's important is because it affects you locally, like
Right.
the policies that are made in the town that you have, you know, down to even school board elections, like the whole gamut. Like, pay attention to it, find out the
Right.
facts and whatever. And it's tough because of the world we live in. Like, it's almost like her cynicism's cooked in, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a whole generation of people like that.
Local politics is not fun.
Local
No,
politics
it's
is not
nasty.
fun,
It's nasty.
but it's the important one.
No, I agree.
So local politics. Who is Mayor Molly?
Molly Rowan.
I don't know anything about her.
I can explain.
She was-
I mean, I
didn't hear
don't.
the name
I
until
went
she
and
won.
I went and voted in that election for the runoff, but I just voted for
Daniel
Lionel
knows-
because
Daniel knows who she is.
they were
She's
both
had-
Democrats. But
She's had an experience in Fayetteville. She's the one who got the Scott family to make the big donation to the Amazium, call it the Scott Family Amazium. She used to do fundraising.
Fund
She used to be a
development.
fundraiser. She worked at KUAF, NPR, and then moved up in the fundraising world, and then got hired for the city, working at Experience Fayetteville.
so why did people not like Lionel anymore?
Man,
I mean, I don't know because I
my
only moved to
opinion-
I only moved to Fayetteville right before COVID.
you're Fayetteville, right?
Right before COVID,
My-
so I didn't really know anything about either, and I was a little surprised she won. But I
wasn't.
didn't know.
It was no
Yeah,
surprise.
I didn't
that she
know
won to
anything.
me.
I wasn't surprised at all.
I wasn't surprised.
I said if it goes into a runoff, and I'm friends with Lionel, I know Lionel.
What's the biggest difference between them?
Lionel's probably a little bit more old school stuff of like, we're gonna take care of the roads, we're gonna take care of this stuff, we're gonna.
Nicole, we got a whole thing. If you
Um, she's gonna probably do things a little differently. But this is my opinion. I think people were just ready for a change. I don't think it
he was what,
loud.
mayor for 14 years.
He's been
16 years.
16 years.
Yeah.
And he'd been on
People
city
are just-
council for 8.
Yeah.
People are just ready
I
for
think they
change.
just wanted something different.
There's
That's
a
all.
lot of pissed off people in Fayetteville too, just because of the relationship with U of A and the way that the student housing and like the big corporate interests coming in for the student housing that is off campus, doing 6-month leases with multi-bedroom apartments, instead of holding the U of A accountable and saying, either stop admitting so many people because of the housing that's in Fayetteville,
Texas people.
or
Wherever people.
build more housing on campus for your students. And instead, what you have is like this rental crisis where people, if they work in Fayetteville, sometimes they're not even living in Fayetteville right now because the student housing thing that we have. So
Yeah, because they were
Honestly,
talking about affordable housing a lot.
I think that was honestly what it is that
The affordable housing?
is Jordan's way of kind of pushing for housing was not pro-family, pro-individual. It was more, again, directed towards university. And Molly's kind of, her big thing was she wants to change the path that Fayetteville's going and bring in more affordable single-family homes. I don't live in Fayetteville. I don't vote in Fayetteville, so I don't
Is that a
keep a
good
ton
thing?
up. But
I think so.
Yeah, but I don't know how you do it. And I'm not being mean. I don't know how you do it. Where do you go buy the land to put affordable housing?
I'd have voted for John Dutton. Keep everybody fucking out. That's like how I am right now.
Well, that's
We
the
have
thing in
grown
Fayetteville.
we don't even have the
Where's the land
infrastructure.
at to build on?
Right.
well, that's the problem. There's not.
Well, that's why they're throwing these multi-tiered,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
low income.
There's actually discussion that I'd say I live outside city limits right now. There's discussion that I may get annexed within the next 4 years.
Yes.
Because of where I live, and I get Fayetteville water. I'm technically Springdale addressed, but I get Fayetteville water, and there is actually a working group that has on the agenda that my land will be indexed into the city within the next 4 years.
And that shit is real.
Are you in Fayetteville planning area out here?
We're zoned, so we're not in city limits,
Yeah.
but it is zoned.
Are you in like future Fayetteville area?
Well, it kind of depends. Like, I think that the quarry kind of decides a lot of what that had. So, like, it was zoned at one point, like residential, but then the quarry expanded.
Okay.
And so now I don't know how all that works. But
Well, like if you're in a future Fayetteville planning zone, they're like
I think
kinda
you're close
determine what
enough
you
to
can
be. It's 2 miles outside of city limits.
Yeah.
You're
it's
within
real
2
close.
miles.
You're within.
So you're within, unless you have a closer city. And I don't know if there is.
I mean,
or not.
it's going to happen eventually. I just don't know where it stands like right now because the quarry expansion. But like eventually, yeah, we don't have that buffer. But like being out in Gravette and Goshen yesterday, I mean, it's God's country out there. There's no subdivisions, no low. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Still, it looks like Farmington did in the '90s, like just fucking bare earth,
Well, but you take a city like Centerton. That's.
Oh my God.
I mean,
yeah.
I've been in Northwest Arkansas now for 15 years, and Centerton, when we moved here, was Gentry Gravette.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now it's wall-to-wall houses.
Oh yeah.
Well, Centerton used to not exist.
Well, yeah.
It was
I
not
think
even
it's
a
the fastest
spot on the
growing
map.
city in the country.
I think it is.
Like legit.
Yeah. No, I
legit
think
is.
so.
I think
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what's going to happen to Gentry, to Gravette, to Decatur. All those places are eventually going to, because when you have folks like Tyson moving in 1,000 new employees, Walmart bringing in, what is it, 1,500?
But it's not just Walmart. It's the the suppliers.
But then,
around them.
but then the suppliers have to bring in their people.
Exactly.
Walmart is just bringing 1,500, I think it is, just to their facility.
Just there. But
And-
when you look at all the satellites around Walmart, I was talking to a guy the other day who's moving to this area for a supplier. He was like, I came down here, I loved it. My mom and dad are moving here. My brothers and sisters are moving here. And I was like, stop!
That is super common.
Yeah.
That is super common.
I had to kill the guy. And
Yeah,
his
it's
family's
super
still
common.
moving here.
Yeah.
So it really did nothing but...
It's because they have most of what you have somewhere else. Like you'll still have them move here and be like, well, I wish that we had blah blah blah.
Right.
But to them, depending on where they live, it's actually more bang for their buck to come here right now.
Yeah.
But for people like us, we don't need a blah 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 because we never had one.
Right.
You know, we were fine just living the way we did.
I was fine the way it was.
Yeah.
My life was good to go.
Yeah. I
Look
know,
at
I
folks
know.
coming from California. I mean,
Oh,
they can
fuck
sell. But I'm saying they can sell their houses in California, and I actually know two couples.
A much smaller.
Much smaller.
I mean, a small
I mean,
piece. Yeah.
honestly, I have one couple friends of mine that space is about as big as this that they sold for almost $500,000 several years ago
In California.
in California.
Yeah, I believe it.
And so they were able to effectively afford 3 properties in Northwest Arkansas.
Well, that's what happened in the early
at the time.
2000s.
That was at the time.
You remember when Landers came in Northwest Arkansas?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's when the small car dealership broke apart because
Mm-hmm.
Dad had worked for Bob Clark Toyota before, you know, and then these guys bought all these dealerships, consolidated them, and they weren't from the area. A lot of these guys were from Florida, and they're like, man, if I sold my place in Florida, I could live like a king up here.
Yeah.
Right? And so they start telling family, and it's like, oh, there's this place.
Yeah.
Like, I know guys up here. Mark Silva was talking about this on a show recently where he was like, the land around Biloxi's going for nothing right now.
Yeah.
So he's buying up properties around there and either renting them out or fixing them up and selling them. Like, if you're good at that kind of
So
stuff.
it brings me back to affordable housing. Would that bring more people into Fayetteville?
Yeah, I think.
And is that
A lot
good?
more.
And is
No.
that good? And what does that do for like crime? That's
I don't
I
think
worry
it's
about
good
that a
for-
little bit because all of Northwest Arkansas and even Fayetteville, it's got
Here's
a lot
the
of crime.
here's the question that
got a
I
lot of
ask,
serious crime.
and my wife gets very upset with me.
Oh, who's the diva now?
If
So,
you can't afford to live here,
fucking
you want to live
Alex,
in here?
man. What a bunch of bullshit. You just strolling here like you own the place?
No.
Don't forget to
Dude,
sign
I'm
the
a
guest
legal
book.
Democrat. I asked
It's-
that question.
Yeah. I just worry about the crime sometimes when they talk about and the population that moves here. If you have a lot of low,
See, I don't worry about the
stuff.
crime. What I worry about is,
Christmas.
do I want my property values to go
Doc's got it.
down
well,
and my house is not worth as much?
yeah.
To me, that I know it's selfish.
No, that's a real thing though.
But I work for
That's a
that
debate
thing.
between it.
Now, Jason may look at it differently than me, though. Also,
What property value?
well, like
Property value is property value. Like it's whatever the market is. If it doesn't matter. Like
yeah, but like if somebody can't afford to live in Fayetteville, do you want them living in Fayetteville? And I don't say that
I wanted
mean.
to call you over here, and then I know I can't.
The problem is that we still need these people who
I don't like the overall
to afford
in general.
because we want people to be able to work at McDonald's and Walmart and They have to have somewhere to live.
Exactly.
And if it's not so everywhere, I don't care if it's Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, we all need affordable housing. It's not for the folks that are making
And I asked
That's
that,
true, too.
And I asked that
six
question.
figures. It's more the folks that are working those.
And I asked that question
Small
because I'm
jobs.
like, I want to know like what's going on behind the
Where are we
scenes.
putting them?
Either you or some. He'll probably either let him sit next between you and Dr. Staley, or you and I'll.
That works.
You in the corner.
Be a
right?
good time for me to go to the
I
bathroom.
saw. I've just
Yeah, if you need to get up.
over the years I've seen a lot of corporate interest come in to Fayetteville specifically
How are you?
How are you?
and
What are you
Yes.
drinking?
blow up
Modelo.
Fancy.
a lot of it. And
Scoot over
I don't know if
some
it's
of
How
the
fair
many
or
times have
unfair.
you
I
two
blame
been on together?
a lot of
Y'all been on-
Lionel's policies.
Oh, it's
on that.
Four?
Y'all
See,
been-
I asked that
Yeah.
question because I want to hear what you
Because
just
she
said.
always,
Yeah.
she's always willing to do the political shit with us. Nobody
Yeah.
else wants to.
Well,
do
they were
that.
both here the last time I was
What's up,
here,
brother?
so
Hey, what's up, man?
You good?
How are you?
I'm good.
Here's why it's important that isn't.
right, yeah,
That's why it's important. Yeah, we want people that work at different levels. They have to be able to live here in the city.
right.
What good is it if they're living 2 cities away to us?
It's not because they're not going to be able to afford to get here.
Right.
I mean, that's the reality.
And now that we're deporting all the illegals, they're not going to work those jobs either.
Exactly.
So-
So, we got a lot. We got a lot of openness.
It's all
that's
cause
a-
and effect. I get it.
That's a whole other line of political discussion that can occur.
Yeah,
and
we get deep all night. So
No, that was
we're-
a great point though you made. So I'm.
That's what you
thanks
call
for making
baiting.
it. Yeah.
I was doing that on purpose.
that's fine. Give me a few more beers and we can definitely get
We'll see
into the
how it
baiting
goes.
sides.
we were going around the horn. Craziest moment of 2024.
We haven't gotten very far.
Oh, man.
Craziest, like
Ooh, I don't know.
Like, I remember in January, somebody tweeted out, like, the number one selling Kansas City Chiefs jersey is Taylor Swift, and Ben Shapiro has the number one rap record in the country, and it's only January. Like, that
just kind of makes things a little weird.
It's like I'm trying to figure out the best way to get back here.
Right here.
Sorry, guys, I drank water before I came. And I'm 50-some, so the bladder doesn't hold much.
No worries, brother. But, like, that was a thing that happened. Ben Shapiro and Tom McDonald did a rap track last January.
Oh, goodness. A rap track.
So, like, between then and now, what was the craziest thing?
I mean, the assassination attempt.
That was my
has
answer.
to be. I mean, that's got to be up there. I don't know.
Where were you when you found out? What were you doing?
I just got off the golf course.
That's right. I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
And my mom was telling me. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Well, that seals it." And she's like, "Are you serious? You really?" I was like,
Yeah, that was a weird day because we were doing.
It was so weird.
We were doing a Cardinal cast.
Yeah,
Like, that night, like we were doing.
Wow.
A group
Yeah.
pod.
That was wow.
Well, it wasn't a Cardinal cast because Stephen Lord was here, but like we were already planning on doing a podcast,
Right,
and then.
right.
And did it seem like it just kind of happened and kind of just went away?
Did I ever tell you the story about
That's
how I
what
found
I was going
out?
to say.
I mean, it
I didn't
happened
think that
and
was
it
as
just
big of
kinda
a
went
deal
away.
that I thought it would be.
I honestly forgot about it. Like, when you asked me, not even top of mind.
But think
Didn't
about
think
it.
a thing about it.
An attempted assassination attempt on anybody would be crazy in a year. But because this year was so nuts, it was literally memory holes. Like, right? Even the Rogan interview. Like, when Trump went on Rogan, that should have been the biggest thing ever happened.
It wasn't a big deal.
Everybody had always talked about it. And then, like, within 24 hours, it was old news because he was headlining Madison Square Garden.
Right.
And then Tony Hinchcliffe made a Puerto Rico joke. Right?
yeah.
And then the cycle is just so
It's
fucking fast.
stop.
And it's gotten so crazy.
It's
Like, the
on
word
purpose.
unprecedented
Yes.
has just gotten so
Right.
demure. You know what I mean? It's like so...
As Bannon would say, flood the zone.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all like that.
it is.
News cycle is like that now.
But Trump has turned politics into WWE, which is also coming back on Netflix. Like, this is...
What?
We're living in weird times. Yeah.
Hold on.
Hopefully
Hold on.
people...
You can't just say that and go on.
Wait.
Coming
Hopefully people start watching WWE and leave politics to politicians.
That would be fun. I'm excited about it.
Like old school WWE.
Yeah, look, it's on Netflix.
That's gonna
Like
be
I can watch
best
old
thing
matches.
Yeah,
ever.
it's gonna be on. Well, no, I don't know if you can watch old shit. But like, it's new.
Oh, they're gonna have like a whole new.
Yeah. They're bringing it back.
Oh no way.
You've seen this, yeah.
Yeah, I
The trailers have been on.
I saw it yesterday while I was watching the football games.
Yeah, that's when they were on the trailers.
Yeah,
Oh, I like where that's going.
Yeah.
I like
See,
that.
I feel like we're in for some cool shit coming up. Like, between now and when the robot overlords kill and enslave us,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a cool 15 years.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
Exactly, dude. Elon to me is a wild card. Like, I don't know if he's just batshit crazy or the only path to save humanity.
Can we
And
talk
two,
about...
two things be
Bad shit crazy.
well, that's the thing. You don't the people who take that line. You don't accomplish what he's accomplished without
Wait.
insanely.
Without being
Can we
little
unspool
bit
that for a second?
Let's do it.
His parents owned an emerald mine.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that got to do with what he's?
He went to the Tesla. You don't think that he did anything with Tesla, right? He is an opportunist. I would say that he's a shrewd.
He knows how to make money.
He took it a long way.
He's a
from where he
shrewd
brought it.
opportunist, but he didn't fucking engineer any kind of electric vehicle. He didn't fucking make a space rocket. You know, he didn't own the internet or satellites. He just happens to buy and make, like, he had the money to make a shrewd investment, and he's been an opportunist off that. Does that make him a good business person? Sure. But everybody treats him as like he's like some kind of fucking tech genius.
Well,
he's
he
not.
won Monopoly in real life. Like, I don't feel like that's
He
just...
did win Monopoly in real life.
He did. I don't feel like that's just luck.
My problem with
I said
Elon
that
is
he
I
was
love
a
and
shrewd
hate him.
investor.
I love him and I hate him.
Why do you love him and why do you hate him?
He owns the stock.
He's made me a lot of money.
Okay.
That's the only thing that there
Next.
is there. He's made me a lot of money.
Gotcha.
Now look, I'm not like millions of dollars. Don't think it's like that. But yeah, bought the stock. I've held on to it for years. I've done very, very well with it. But I'm also like, man, what the fuck's he going to do next? Is he going to go in there and chop that thing up?
These Optimus robots terrify me, dude.
The what?
The Optimus robots.
Oh yeah.
Did
When
you
they
watch
released
any of
that
his-
video with the one like
that
with the
night
cowboy
that
hat,
Jose-
like shaking up martinis or whatever. That
Well,
like
it's a
yeah,
weird-
that was.
like-
I don't want to watch it now.
Well, like I
You
said
say,
earlier,
I don't want to know anything about it.
the word unprecedented was left out the window 5 years ago.
Right.
We
Oh, yeah.
we are off the tracks right now. So everything that happened happens now is unprecedented because we're completely in an alternate timeline, essentially, right? So Elon Musk, who's always been this kind of quirky Bruce Wayne type billionaire, who was never a Trump fan, right? And then all of a sudden, him and Trump are like honeymooning, and it's like, well, this is kind of a dangerous alliance, right?
Are you saying that there's a chance that he has a cave and he puts on black leather?
I don't think there's
Yeah.
just a chance of it.
You mean
He
you
probably
called
just
him
actually
Bruce
has
Wayne,
one.
so I'm like,
The
is
guy's
he
a comic book fan.
is
He's
he
a video game fan.
fighting crime
See,
and
that's what I like about
San
him.
Bruno
Diablo.
Like,
somewhere?
I find
or-
him more relatable than Trump because he's a fucking gamer, dude. He's talking about all kinds of builds he's doing in these games. Like, what does that make him a bad? Like, what is your like one?
He's a gamer.
I'm just saying, I don't think he's this monster. Like, I think
I
he's
don't
pretty
think he's-
simple.
I don't
I don't think
think
he's a
he's-
monster, but
I just
he
think he has
scares
no
me.
social regard for your common man. Like I don't think
Oh, no,
I
he,
don't
he
think
doesn't.
he does either.
I don't think
No,
that
he
he
doesn't.
relates
I
to
don't think anybody at
people
that
as
level does.
people. Like so in that way, no, he's not relational.
I think you saying opportunist is a good way. I think
Yeah.
I don't think it's
It's all
necessarily bad, but
it's
I think
all
it's
a
right.
game. And
But
it's
you
all a
don't feel
game
like
to him.
his drive is responsible for furthering
Oh,
the
it is.
development of AI and space travel and all of these things that somebody needs to fucking have the drive to do these things and progress us
And,
into
it's
the
from,
next.
and it is from him.
Yeah,
Right,
because
but
he's
why is he the
autistic and
only
that's his
one?
stemming. Like he's like that is his routine. He's like, this is the game that I'm playing, and I need to succeed at this game. So when you talk about drive, is it actual drive or is it because of his brain chemistry?
Maybe we need an autistic kid to push us into the future.
Sure.
Because of government fucking regulations, you can't move forward right now. I mean, Doge is not all wrong. Trump's not wrong about all these government regulations that basically inhibit any competition or any growth in this country. Like, both sides should agree that, like, we should reward innovation and hard work in this country, and we don't fucking care. And it's why we don't innovate or grow. Like,
Yeah, we're pretty stagnant if you look at the timeline. As
absolutely,
far as,
we're
like,
fucking
like,
stagnant.
Yeah, the automobile and everything. Yeah.
Well, it's been a crazy year for you, Nicole. A lot of ups and downs.
I got a dog.
You got Bluey.
He did.
Well, Aaron got Bluey and you stole him, but anyway, that's not
It was gifted to me.
that's not important. I think you used eminent domain.
Pretty much.
on
Yes.
that dog,
I'm the
but-
boss in the house.
But you work well together.
I do.
The
yeah.
dog loves you.
Yeah, the dog's pretty cool.
He
She's
is.
my bitch. She's bitch's
She's
best
you-
bitch.
She is a bitch.
She is an
a bitch
awesome girl. So,
A bitch's bitch.
bitch's best bitch. So,
Where's the T-shirt there? What are you wearing tonight?
I am
Tell us
wearing
about
the
this.
Tortured Podcasters Department shirt.
I like
Says
it.
All's Fair in Love and Podcasting. It's ripped off of your favorite girl, Taylor Swift, the Tortured Poets Department, where she says all's fair in love and poetry, and I am just a cheap bitch with my own Cricut machine and heat press, so I stole it.
There you go. See, bridging
Making it
gaps.
my own. I'm making it my own, tweaking it a little bit. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing. I love seeing that creative energy.
it's fun.
As long as it's fun, then
Stopping my show until January 7th, and we're coming back with season 4.2, which is...
God damn, now you're going into...
yeah.
God. She
Yeah.
already has, like, no fucking self-restraint on when she starts and stops seasons. Now she's breaking them into, like, Taylor Sheridan .5. God
It's the truth.
damn.
iOS
I just
updates.
needed a little
You're
bit
gonna
of
have
break.
to have, like,
Point-
you
a
have to have, like, a
slight
tree.
rebrand, a
points.
slight rebrand, and then back with season. I figured, why not? I've never heard of anybody doing it before, and I'm all about breaking barriers.
Nobody has done
Season
it,
4.2.
and we're seeing how it goes.
gonna watch.
But
We're
I
gonna
love
watch
it.
it succeed.
I love it. I'm loving watching you do what you do.
There's a lot of things that happened in 2024, but Bluey was a great distraction from everything. So she
Was that
a-
your biggest moment in 2024?
She was one of my brightest moments in 2024.
What was the craziest shit? I remember being at your house when Biden stepped out of the race. That was
yes, we were doing a show that eventually I lost.
That was the one we lost.
That was the one we lost. That was an amazing show because we were doing a show together, and
we were doing a live react to the news.
Had just I think you had come over for something, and then the news broke. I have the TV in the studio, and the news broke.
Look at him hitting that lime juice up.
I liked
Boy knows how to.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And we were like, we hit the pod and then lost it. But man, that was crazy. Just, yeah. There was so much political and personal. It was really, my world hit the fan in 2024. So 2025 is going to calm down a little bit.
Let me ask you a bonus question. What do you know now about podcasting that you didn't know a year ago? Like, what was the biggest thing you learned this year?
The biggest thing that I learned...
Because this was only your second year doing it, right?
Yes. The biggest thing that I learned is I needed to be more professionally prepared. I was personally prepared to handle it, but I'm dealing now with, it's actually like a thing, and it's actually producing stuff.
Right.
And I'm getting national ads, and so whenever I had to stop for a few weeks ago for season 4, it was just due to the sheer fact that I was in mourning of my little mean teenager podcast. I had it in infancy, and I watched it through, as it stumbled and learned how to walk, and through its mean teenage girl years, and realizing it's becoming an actual adult thing, and that I actually have a platform was quite terrifying. So I think if I would have been able to go back and teach myself anything in season 1, it was to be more professionally prepared. We suffered a great loss on our show, a great personal loss on our show, and it was during that time I admired my former bosses in media so much more, because I see what they had to deal with whenever they suffered a professional loss and a personal loss. It's a double impact.
Yeah, you want to talk about that for a minute? Like, that was a pretty, well, to me, it was fairly sudden. Did you know she was doing that badly?
No idea.
So, if you don't know, Nicole did a show, a spinoff of her own podcast called Two Reverends and a Pagan. It was her, Shauna Holman, and Sheila Hernandez. And Sheila passed. What was it, like 10 days after we did our group with her?
Yeah.
So we and weirdly for me, like the only 2 times I'd ever met her were for podcast. Like the day I met her, she came to a podcast.
Right.
There was like 5 minutes before we rolled.
We did a season 3 photo shoot, but she had to leave before you got there.
Yeah, I never saw her
all
then.
of our photo shoot kind of overlapped.
And we'd had a couple of 2 wraps we were supposed to do that we ended up having to reschedule.
Right.
And I was like, man, I gotta,
Yeah.
I haven't ever met Sheila. We need to connect. And we did, and it was a great time. And then shortly after that, we did make the 2 wrap thing happen. So
Right.
she was on a couple times, pretty close, and then passed.
Yeah.
And it was like, you just meet somebody, you get to know them just a little bit, and
they're just gone from the earth. So
it's so wild. But my perspective is so different from yours.
Yeah, it was like I lost a friend that I felt that I had actually neglected a friendship a little bit, because I've been too busy with all the stuff going on in my own life. So I was dealing with guilt from that.
Yeah,
and then,
understandable.
Dealing with stuff that I knew I was going to have to rebrand Two Reverends and a Pagan. Is it going to be one Reverend and a Pagan? I mean, all this stuff. And then I'm feeling guilty for having to think about that while her family is going through this tremendous loss. And it's at that point that I gained such much more of a respect for business owners that have to deal with all of that, because it's losses of different kinds, and then guilt over which loss you're feeling more emotion over. And so working our way through it, and I think Shauna and I are going to be we've talked obviously about it.
I would totally rebrand it.
And I don't know. I think we're stuck on Two Reverends and a Pagan for a while.
You keep it?
I think we're going to keep Two Reverends and a Pagan, because that's what it was, and that's what it'll always be. And I have a place for Sheila right there in the studio whenever we do
Well,
our
if
show.
you're confident in it, then go with it.
I think True Reverends and a Pagan is gonna stand. So
Do it.
that was
Nice.
that was one of the biggest things that I've learned in 2024 is I was ill prepared for what I was actually building, and so stepping back and kind of a freak out over realizing that my dreams of it becoming this thing, I mean, it's actually happening now, was like, oh, shit. You know?
You know what's really cool about you doing all this stuff before me and being in second position is I get to see.
And that's terrifying,
Oh,
too.
you
Because
fuck
it's like, if I fuck up, you're going to call me out on all
Well,
of
no,
it.
I just get to
I'm
learn
just
from
kidding,
it.
so-
And it's like, okay, she did this. That.
So, I mean, honestly, and I do thank you for that, because I know that you're watching, and that I take that into account when I am making, you know, decisions that I know are going to affect my brand and affect, you know, things that I do, because I know I'm being watched by people, and so.
You are. There's a lot
Thank
of people
you
watching.
so much.
But a lot of people rooting for you.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
don't think people are watching you to hope you fail. There might be
So
somebody.
few are. There are so
They're
many.
not- I
So many.
There's always going to be one or two, but like I think overwhelmingly people are rooting for you, and I think they're right to.
Hell yeah.
All right, Austin. You got to top that. What was-
Oh, I can't.
uh,
There ain't nothing to that.
you know, you fucking lied to me, and I'll never forget this.
Ooh.
I show up to this
You're not
guy's
on camera.
house.
He's not on camera.
and
His arm is.
He doesn't want to be. He knows he's not. If he wants to be, he'll lean forward. But I go over there, and he's clean shaven as a baby. I couldn't even look at him. Like, I was having to take my hat off. And I was like, why'd you do this to me? And why did you say you shaved? What was the reason?
I didn't give you one.
I thought you, no, I swear to God, you said something.
No, I didn't.
And I was like, don't do this to me again. Anyway, I show up there. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
And he's done it again.
I was wondering, like, you walked through the door and I was like, "Hey man, what's
Well,
up?"
what was it before?
He's got such a
What
baby.
was it before?
He had like a
He had a,
goatee
you know,
thing.
the thing.
Brad.
The-
Well, he didn't
Kind
have
of like
this,
what you got?
but it was just here.
Just here?
Yeah.
he was like the reverse evil Austin.
Yeah. Yeah. But I can't even look at him like. He's got such a baby face. I don't know, it weirds me out.
did this. Great.
He aged well. How old are you?
56.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's
You
like,
know what the thing.
he's like Will Shatner. Have you seen Will Shatner lately? He's 90. Was it 92? Anybody know?
Something like that.
Mhm.
I don't know.
He doesn't look like much older than his 60s.
84?
No, he like.
I mean,
But like
he's 92, man. That's old.
he's but he's also plump. You don't see a lot of old plump.
Oh,
So it fills out
Wait
the
a
wrinkles,
second.
right? So I think a little bit of beer goes a long way.
is he calling him plump?
Who's plum?
Don't fucking
Are
stir
you-
shit up. Why are you doing
I'm just
this?
saying. You just called him a babyface, and you're talking about what? Never mind.
Okay, just saying.
I mean,
You said Will Shatner looks young at 90 something, but
you've had
go-
dances with plump.
But then you go, but he's plump.
I think plump is a good thing when you're 90 because the wrinkles don't show, right? So if you got a little beer bloat, it fills that out.
93 years old.
He's
Beer
93.
bloat?
Our producer in the corner,
Can we?
Oh,
I think
St. Brittany.
Dick Van Dyke had 99 years, just like a couple weeks ago, I think. He's still alive. He's almost 100.
Who's the coolest celebrity to you? Because let's
not
toast
prepared
them.
for
They're on
that.
the way out. They're on the way out, right? The
Damn,
celebrity's
get out
dead.
if I wanna
Like
live
who
in
draws box office now? Like in our day, like you go to see a Brad Pitt movie or a Johnny Depp movie, Clooney or whatever. Like now you, God,
The Rock? He does pretty good, man.
You're talking about what?
Dwayne Johnson?
That's
He's pretty popular.
yeah, I'll give you that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
He's a box draw, yeah.
Stick me in those.
Who else?
I've watched Moana 37 times in the last 2 weeks, so yeah. He's,
Exactly. I don't know any like real people, just cartoon people like Sonic.
Says the woman who's
You're-
making T-shirts linked to Taylor Swift over there. That's a real
Taylor
ironic.
Swift? Is there
Taylor
anybody bigger
Swift?
than her right now?
Listen, that's amazing. You just need to learn
Hey,
to
back
appreciate
to.
it.
Well, I guess you
I've
said
tried.
celebrity.
I've tried.
You said celebrity.
Yeah, celebrity. Well, she
Not
is
like
still
Hollywood
taught it.
actor or something.
No, no,
just
anybody,
legit
like-
celebrity.
Like mine would be Chris Cornell. Like the level of depth his music went was unparalleled to me. Chris Cornell, Soundgarden,
He died.
Audio Slave. What do I got to do to speak to you here?
He died.
You more Simon and
Welcome.
Garfunkel guy? Is that
No,
your
man,
jam?
I'm really
Thank you, Audie.
like a big fan of
right.
Led Zeppelin, the Eagles, Peter Frampton. My favorite band is Steely Dan.
So you shut it off at 1979.
Basically, yeah.
You're like, that's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, I was good.
Hey, I
up
respect
until
that.
then,
I
yeah.
respect that.
Hey, Dick Van Dyke, man. Let's give him props. He's, I mean, he
Is
Is he named?
99 years old.
99 years old.
99.
Well, you seen those videos of Richie Valley? They're dragging his old ass out on the stage.
Where he's like,
It's exactly what he looks like. It's exactly what he looks
I've
like.
seen
Don't you
those.
feel bad for these
I
people?
feel
Yes,
bad for
that's
him. Yes.
Like, is
horrible.
There were people
Like,
doing
who's
that
getting
to a
his
president
paycheck?
for the last 4 years. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
or the next four?
Or the next.
That's right. That's right.
We don't
He's
know.
just old.
Bill Murray still seems pretty spry. Bill Murray? No?
That's true.
Bill
He
Murray
does,
is my
he's-
first childhood crush.
He's up there.
Really?
What
Wait.
crush is for you?
What? Like from what movie was it? Like
Stripes.
Ah,
okay. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was gonna guess.
Absolutely.
God,
My
that's-
first childhood crush.
What year did Stripes
She wanted
come
that
out?
ice cream scooper on the stove.
1983, I believe,
Producer,
or
can we get the
82?
year Stripes came out?
What
He's
year did
74.
Stripes-
She's
What's
learning
that?
sign language, so
What
she
year
don't.
did Stripes
She
come
spoke
out, the
earlier,
movie
right? So she can.
Stripes?
Yeah. She knows how to talk.
She can speak. Oh, she's not. No, she won't now.
My brother took me to see it in the theater whenever it came
Okay.
out. It skipped school, so I think it was.
Ooh,
like
that's a good
kindergarten.
question. What was the first movie you saw in theaters?
It would have been, I believe, Tank or Stripes.
What was your
Or
first
E.T.
movie?
81.
E.T. was mine. I think I was
81?
like 2 years old.
So I was 3 years old and I was watching Stripes.
Yeah.
Is it rated
Yeah, so
R?
you know I
It's
was
rated
born.
R. It had boobs. It's rated R. I
Dr.
was
Staley,
3
what was your
years
first movie in theaters? You remember?
horrible.
E.T.
It was E.T.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear that was mine
When did
too,
that
but it
come
came out in
out?
like 83. I
Uh,
think
that
it's
was-
Was
83.
it 83?
Yeah, 83, 84. something
But
like
I
that.
also think back then they used to re-air movies
I can't
the
read that.
years after.
1982.
82.
You also have a privacy screen on it. So if you're doing like this,
She has a privacy screen.
you do like this, I can't see shit because the angle is at the privacy level.
There we
Is
go.
this better?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can read that text from there, asshole.
I've got 2015 vision, sir.
Hey, I'm working on the eyesight. I mean, all the ages.
Just saying.
Just don't take any shit from this asshole right here.
None of it.
None of it. Don't take it.
I'm good at dishing.
Don't
out,
take
so
it.
sorry.
Don't try to eat it. Oh.
What was your first movie?
I think
I
it was
think
I remember going to ET, but it couldn't have been the year it came out. But like back in the day, they would air movies more than 1 year. Like they'd
I
release
mean,
them again like the next summer or fall.
Wasn't E.T. like one of the longest running in the theaters?
Well, like Last Jedi I
didn't
saw in
it?
I don't
theaters, and
know.
that came
How
out.
long did E.T. run in the
There you go.
I mean,
Putting
Because
her
for
to
some
work.
reason, I want to say it probably
it
something
was.
like that for
I
me
think
too.
it had the longest run.
I remember seeing it in theaters. I remember seeing The Last Crusade. That was. Here's a memory I'll
An
never
entire
forget.
year.
Yeah, it was a year.
So Ninja Turtles, 1990, I think the live action movie came out. Right, so then 1987 is when the cartoon came out, which popularized the comic book, right? And so the movie comes out, it's live action, it's Jim Henson, it looks good. And Raphael at some point, I think he's after he's fighting Casey Jones, he says, "Damn."
I remember that.
And like, he goes, "Damn!" And like, you just heard this, like this intake of breath across the whole, theater. The whole theater, because it was like, it's a kid's movie, right? I remember looking up at my dad and like, "What's up?" And he just kind of shrugged, and then like the movie just kept playing, and it was like, man, they said, "Damn, an Ninja Turtle movie." Yeah.
Yeah, is that a big deal these days?
Well, it's funny because I was talking to a buddy at work, Levi Dixon. He was on the pod recently, and he was talking about that scene where in Happy Gilmore where he says, "I ate pieces of shit like you for breakfast."
Yeah.
He had seen the version he had seen was recorded off TV. So they say like pieces of scum like you for breakfast.
Yeah.
And so he grew up thinking that was what the words were. And the same with Ace Ventura, they did that too.
Would you not know? Like if you're watching it,
Not if you're.
Scum.
Yeah, if you're watching,
No.
Two completely
catch that.
different mouth movements.
It ain't a Godzilla movie, son. You're not
Yeah.
expecting that shit to come off
I'm
sequence.
I'm just saying, like, if you're like really watching the movie, you're gonna see that it's a different.
Well, it's such a short little
Yeah,
clip
I'm not
that
catching
happens in
that.
that you're not
Right.
gonna most people aren't going to catch
No.
that. I mean, that's such a small change that you're not going to notice it for most people.
Unless
Did
you're
anybody
like-
watch Godzilla -1?
No.
I want to.
I just got the Blu-ray. I'll let you take it with you. But bring it back.
No.
Really?
My dad's really,
No, I bring back everything.
What's really funny is my dad's one of these guys who does not like people borrowing his shit. And so if I ever need to borrow something, so like here's an example. Like a week or two ago, I'm like, hey, I need 2 chords. Like me and Walter are recording the song, right? And I need to be able to control my amp from the computer. So I need my pedals over there, and all I had was like shorter chords. I was like, I need to borrow a 20 or 30 foot cable from you. So he's like, yeah. So he gives me a couple 30 foot cables, and so I'm able to do this. Well, then I get 2 30 foot cables for Christmas. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
I can
anyway,
give it mine back now.
Anyway, I was like, I guess you're wanting yours back. He's like, well, you don't need them anymore, do you? So today, the boy he makes the boys a target for axe throwing. He makes this giant axe throwing target for them for Christmas, right? Well, me like an idiot, we aimed it like facing away from the holler. So if you miss it, the shit's gonna go like down into the leaves and shit, which is dumb of me anyway. Walt loses a knife out there, and I'm like, I'm not raking up fucking who knows how much. Like, we'll go over there get a metal detector. And I was like, so I come in here and I see these boxed cords, and I'm like, I better get Dad's cord. I better swap these out for Dad's cords and get these in the car, right? So I get his cords up, just being overzealous, right? So I get in the car, I get the cords, and I get a text. He's like, hey, before you leave, make sure you bring my cords back. I already got him in the car, you son of a bitch. He just couldn't stand it.
Just he can't do
He's
it.
up at night. He's like, man, this is day 3. He's got those cords over there.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, Dad? I know he.
Is he
listens to-
using them?
No. He's not
See,
fucking
that's-
using them.
Yeah.
He's absolutely not using them.
Is he retired?
Yes.
There you go.
This is also, I'll tell another story about my dad.
Yeah,
So my
there you
dad
go.
did not like television, right? He was like, it's a waste of time, it's entertainment, it's not productive, right? If you're watching television, you're not being productive. Like, you got to be creating, building, fixing something. Like, that's who this guy is. And I fucking respect it. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's what he does.
It makes me feel like a loser. So, he gets into Yellowstone. He's like retired, and I had just gotten into the series, so I had the Blu-ray, like 4 seasons at that time. And he was like, "You mind if I borrow that first disc?" So I drop it off, you know. And like the next day, he's like, "Can you just bring the rest of them over?" Like, he went through the whole season in a day. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
He binged that
He
shit.
fucking binged that shit and didn't feel. And man, he's talking about these characters, you know. And he's fucking wanting to ride off into the old West over there, man.
He got into something he liked.
Right. So now he's like, "Have you started Landman yet?" He's like, "Man, there's already 3 episodes out. You haven't even started. Man, when are you gonna watch Tulsa King?" He's like on his Taylor Sheridan binge, right? And I'm like, "You're finally getting the nerd thing, right?"
Yeah.
He's never experienced it before.
I like it.
And so to me, it's like, this is what...
He's liking. He's finding something he liked.
Yeah, but he's entertained. He's engrossed. He's invested, right?
Yeah.
He never got, like, why I was into shit like Star Wars and
No,
stuff.
he
You know,
never
it's
got
like,
that.
that's just nerd shit. But now he's invested,
Yes.
right?
And he's liking
And
it.
it's a good show. I get it. Like, it's a great show.
Tulsa King, that's the one with Sly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just rewatched the Rocky movies
Oh,
for
man.
Christmas. That was
So
Max.
good.
Max wanted to do that.
Verdict?
The first 4 are fantastic, man. We don't go past 4 with little kids.
Here's a question. I know you've shown your kids all the
What
Star
happens
Wars.
After 4?
Well, Rocky 5 is just really horribly dark.
Oh, okay.
You've seen it, haven't you?
No. I've always seen the
It's
first
like
2.
isn't that the one where his wife
first one's
dies?
good
Or
for
like
me.
he's estranged from his son's getting beat up at school.
Oh, no.
He loses all of his money because of bad financial counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what that's
Oh,
like, don't you,
gosh.
Lee? You
Wow.
had ever had a prize fighter, world champion leave you
That's
with
a
bad
searching for
financial
other
advice?
plot Mine's good grief.
You never had that happen, did you?
He's like,
The dead.
he's like, no, I'm not answering that.
He's like, no.
Well, hey, how did you show your kids the Star Wars movies? Like, did you do like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3,
I'm
7,
a
8,
strong
9?
believer in showing or reading things in the order they are released. Chronological order really ruins a lot of surprises. So we started 4, 5, 6.
Were you okay with that?
I'm not only okay with it, I think it's the only way to go.
I
think as of this point in my relationship with Star Wars, you do 4, 5, 6 and you stop.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like 7 and 8?
7 and 8? No, I thought they were absolute fucking trash. I think they crashed. I think Hollywood was a Star Destroyer, right?
Okay.
And those movies came out, and that Star Destroyer crashed into the fucking sea. Disney completely totaled. They misread the fan base. Something I'm very invested in.
Oh, well,
so I only
okay.
want to get rolling on this shit. But yes, I think they.
Why would you even ask this question?
Because I really wanted to see what would happen.
I think they were trash.
I finished a new Star Wars puzzle
I
today.
heard the
too,
alkaline
so-
was really good.
That's all. Yeah, I finished a new Star Wars
I
puzzle
was
today,
out
so I was
well
like,
before that. If you're trying to troll me, it ain't gonna work. 'Cause I don't care anymore, dude.
I thought 7. Now I agree. 7 is just like 4.
No, I'm just
it's
kidding. I
basically the
watched
same story, but I thought it was pretty good.
After 7, I was super excited for 8. I was invested.
Yeah.
They had me. And then they
Same.
fucking pulled the goddamn rug out from under me and
God,
said,
rug pull.
fuck your legacy and fuck you fanboys and your love of these characters. We're gonna do the unexpected and be all edgy with it and uproot your childhood fucking heroes. And that's not the way to treat a franchise.
That's when Star
If
Wars
anybody
died.
has anything to add, please.
Hey, Jason Green.
I have no idea.
He just said it.
That's when Star Wars died. Ryan Johnson killed it.
He killed it. And we clung on well after that.
Yep.
Because of the level of investment, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like your kid, he lies to you once, right? You know, big deal. All right, hey, son, don't lie to me again. Next thing you know, you catch him with a hooker. It's like, okay.
You're dead.
Next thing you know,
I
he's
really
getting
didn't.
hired on the board of Burisma. And you're like, okay, Hunter, like, this is enough.
I
Kick
didn't. I
some back
really
for the
didn't
big
know.
guy.
I didn't know that's what was going to happen.
So the original movie, that's number what?
4.
4. Okay. I saw that at the drive-in.
What
With
year
my
were you
parents.
born?
With my parents. 67.
67. So, you'd have been 10?
Perfect
Something like
age.
that.
right about
Great year. Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm
Would've
still
been
sad about
so
the
you
drive-in.
grew up with it, like from. See, I came into.
Yeah,
it-
but I stopped watching it. I watched the first 3 or something.
Yeah, but then it went away. Like
Yeah,
it was
but
done
for
for
us,
a
we
long
were a whole
time.
new generation of kids finding out after. Like Return of the Jedi had already been released when I was 2 when it came out, so I didn't see it until. I do think I saw that in theaters though.
That may have been one of my first movies.
Which one? Return of the Jedi?
Return of the
I gotta go
Jedi.
to the bathroom.
I swear to God, they used to
you
release
go.
movies more than once. They
You
do
know,
that
and it
with
was-
like Lord of the Rings plays all
And
the
I
time.
want to say,
They
I
play
grew up
almost
in a
every-
smaller. I grew up in Fort Smith. I think you might be right. Like they'd
I'm
be
pretty
like, this
sure.
weekend is XYZ,
Yes.
and we're gonna
I
yada
swear
yada
to God,
yada.
I saw the first Indiana Jones movies in theaters, and I think that came out before I was born. Didn't that come out?
Oh yeah. What?
I think they used to replay movies.
Man, they might have.
Because there weren't enough movies coming out.
And
Like, going
honestly,
to the theater was a big deal when we were little. There just
Well, when I was a
weren't
little kid,
lot
yeah,
of
going to theater was a big deal just because.
they're in theater for a really long time too. Like,
movies. Yes,
like not just a 3 or 4 week run, but like 8.
but think about when
9.
we were little kids. We didn't even have VCRs, so there was no home
That's how
video
you- that's how
rental.
you saw
So you didn't
movies.
have to rush it out to sell the VHS.
That's
you
true.
just kept it. Now,
Well,
Jurassic Park was one of the first movies I think that really capitalized on home video sales. Not that it hadn't been done before, like re-releases of E.T. and Star Wars and stuff, but like the first new movie that came out that I really remember.
And there's things like nowadays, I can get that experience at my house almost if I want to drop the money.
But that's another part of why Hollywood's dead. Is like you don't have to go to the theater to feel the rumble anymore. Like you can get a good stereo.
See, that's my issue with college football. I love going to football games, but I can get just as good of experience almost watching it at my house.
And you
And
don't
not
have
have
to
to-
sit through the fucking traffic and park and walk. See, I just don't like live
How
events.
bad is it?
Oh, I love
What?
football games.
You
don't
know
like
this
You?
about me. Stop.
You don't like
But my kids have
concerts?
forced me
Where'd
to
you
do
come
a
from?
lot.
I like
Where'd
that.
you come from?
You don't
I
like
have-
going to like
Oh,
a
I'm
fun
from
concert?
Fayetteville, so like I feel like
I have enjoyed it.
grew up
doing
immersed
it with
in
my kids.
hog traffic,
and
you know,
having
whether
an
it's
experience
basketball
with
games,
them.
Yeah.
football games.
But
But you weren't going to go otherwise.
no, fuck no.
No way.
No.
Like,
I
man,
remember
love going to like a
Julia
good
got me
concert.
tickets for like my birthday one year to a Denver Kansas City game, which is like the big rivalry game.
Yeah.
Right? It was in Kansas City, and I was like, I'm not fucking going to Kansas City. I'm not leaving Arkansas.
What?
What?
No fucking way. Like,
Did
why would
anybody
you
know
do
this?
that?
What?
He's barely leaving.
He won't leave the house.
What? That was before.
I don't like.
He don't want to leave
leaving.
the house.
That was before, not
You're
now.
gonna. He doesn't.
I still don't like leaving the state. No, I wouldn't.
No
I
way.
wouldn't fucking yeah. No.
Terrasan.
Like, you don't like, hey, man,
Nick-
let's go up to Kansas City, hit a game, and we'll stay at the casino.
Dude, I literally did not leave a
This is
4
new
mile
information.
radius in 2 years during COVID. I went to 16 General Store in Harps for 2 years, and I was happy. I thought I was dead and living in heaven. Like this was, this is, this is it.
This is awesome.
And we traveled all over the place.
Well, that rally
because
in-
nobody's
in
at the hotels,
Pennsylvania,
nobody's
we're
at the
gonna go.
restaurants,
Right.
and everything was cheap. It was
Where were
great.
you going? What were you?
I don't know. We're going to Florida, going to San Diego, going to I don't remember. every
You were
place.
hanging out.
Oh yeah,
You were partying.
yeah. Man, it was great when
So you're
nobody
wearing
was
that mask
around.
on the plane, and then you're getting to Party Central and just super spreading.
Masks are so funny. You think we'll ever have masks
yes,
again?
Sir.
Be another 100 years.
Nobody's.
They
gonna
did it
fucking-
during the 1918.
We were in Niagara Falls right before COVID, and you know there were Chinese people that were in one of the coffee restaurants, and they were all wearing masks, and we thought, wow, that is really weird, you know. And then a month later, everybody wearing masks.
Did you go over the Falls in a Barrel?
No.
So, hey, I worked for a company at the time that was a China company. We were their U.S. subsidy or place. They sent us a ton of masks in December of 2019. We're like, you guys need to start wearing
December.
these. In December of 2019, they sent us all masks. Like, hey, you guys need to start wearing
Because
these. There's
they
something
knew it
going
was
around.
Gonna be here in October.
Well,
Like,
I found out about it in October. This was what changed my whole life. Drew Jones, you know Drew.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "Hey, have you heard about? Oh God, what was the YouTuber's name? Mr. Medicare. His channel got taken down because he's talking about some virus coming over here from China." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "I've got an archive video." So he sends me this link, and
Why does he have an archived video?
it's going around. Who knows what he's on? Reddit, Discord, I don't know. But people are talking about this, and Medicare's saying, I got friends in China, and they're saying something just released from a lab. They're trying to quarantine it over there. Anyway, I just kind of roll my eyes. I'm like, I don't know about this. I'm asking people about it. Nobody's heard about it. You know, and then December, he sends me something else. It's like some health science article that's rumbling about this thing, and I'm following it, and there's not a lot about it. And then all of a sudden, it just, once it hit. It hit hard. But that was when I first started thinking, like, they're silencing this guy. They took down this guy's channel. And then, even after it came out, it was like, it could not have come from a virus laboratory.
Yeah.
With like, it was so insane to say, look away.
Yeah, look away.
Even Jon Stewart on the Colbert.
Yeah, that was
clip
like one
right
of the best
there
bits.
shows you everything you need to know.
No, it was a pangolin.
Did anybody ever get mask shamed?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Like for not wearing it or for wearing it?
for not.
or halfway. I got shamed for wearing it halfway in Walgreens in Fayetteville one time, but I had just got the what did they call it? The COVID shot. What was that called?
The COVID shot?
Yeah,
The COVID
COVID shot.
shot.
Yeah, and so
The end. Period.
and so at that time they were saying you get the COVID shot, you're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to get COVID or give it to anybody.
Oh, transmit, yeah.
And so I was in Walgreens and I was at the register and I had the mask below my nose and I was walking out and this I guess college kid just started going off. And I was walking through the door leaving and then I had to come back and say something because it's like, dude, I got the shot. I can't give it or I can't receive it. So
You're good
See,
at that
I feel
point.
like that's how
well, you thought.
Right. If those shots worked, then
That's what
they
we were
should have
told.
worked.
Oh yeah.
We take everything at face value, just like, oh, it didn't come from a lab, and it's not really coming over here. And then,
Mainstream
Does
media
she,
puts
she
it
needs to be
out
on
there.
camera, right?
The problem with the
She needs
shots
to be on
was
camera to
for
talk.
vaccines to work, you've got to get to a certain you've got to get to a certain percentage of the population that's been vaccinated, and we never hit that number as quickly as we needed to for it to be effective. That was why the vaccine didn't work the way it was supposed to.
But did it need to work at all since it was had the? I mean, you're basically fighting a common cold here.
I would disagree with that statement.
Can I interrupt here a little bit? So, the situation on the whole thing here, though, is you're saying, well, I got the vaccine, so I can no longer get it or spread it.
That was what we were told.
That's what I was told.
But what vaccine have you ever known that as soon as it comes out and it gets started, that virus is eradicated from you? It's
Well,
not,
you can't have a vaccine that fast.
Yeah,
exactly.
Don't know, but I didn't really know
But
anything about
But that
vaccines
was
in
the
my
problem.
life.
And so
You
you have
did.
vaccines
No.
that are being
Besides, you get the
filled
polio one.
with all these scare tactics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like they don't know. They have no clue. They're not doing the research. They're not checking into what needs to be done.
But they
They're
were
running-
making money.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
money
that's
was
what it's
being
They were
made.
doing pretty good there.
Fuck yeah, dude. And I don't say I even blame them. If I'm in a situation to make bank off a crisis, even create a crisis, and I know I'm going to make so much money that even if they catch me and I got to pay every lawsuit in the world, I'm still going to have so much money.
You just
I can
wrote,
fly to the moon.
You just wrote the business plan for any drug company, any pharmaceutical
Now they're
company.
doing it on the diabetes shots.
But it's like the motive there, people ask, like, well, why would they do this?
Money?
Money.
The
That's-
most money
Yeah,
you
that's
can
it.
even imagine. Like,
Yeah.
what's bigger than pharmaceuticals right now, other than big tech?
Yeah.
Because growing up, it was just oil and gas. That was the dominant.
Energy, yeah.
Fuck the man, the oil and gas. They had all the oil spills. Right. It was a clear villain.
Right.
And then tech and pharmaceuticals came in and just outdid the oil and gas industry to where the oil and gas industry isn't near as paramount as those.
Well, they're not as.
And this was something we lived without, mind you, for
Well, it's not-
thousands
they're not
of
like
years.
they're not hated on as much as they were. Oil and gas.
I would say they still are. They
Sure.
just they have learned to.
They ain't
their
making the headlines.
They've learned to
Yeah.
keep their
Head down,
head
just
down
go
and their
forward.
mouth shut, and
Yeah, I
so
think
they
that's it.
That they no longer. It's whenever because when they become the villain again is every quarter when quarterlies get
Yeah.
reported,
Yeah.
and they've made record profits again,
Right.
and then everyone hates them for
Yeah.
the next.
But if you're in the shadows
two.
of tech and pharmaceuticals, which is kind of where they're riding now,
Mm-hmm.
you're a little bit under the radar. And so I think they're in a great spot.
Which is why it's only once a quarter that they tend to get into the limelights because that's when they.
Right, but even then it doesn't last as long as it used to.
Oh no.
It's downriver in
Yeah.
moments.
Well, I mean, you talk pharmaceuticals. I mean, good gravy train. The money that they spend just trying to market this crap.
Yeah.
I mean,
So if a patient, and if you can't answer this, you don't have to. But
Yes, I can.
if a patient watches an ad,
Yeah.
and they say, "Man, that sounds like what I need," and they come to you, are you obligated to prescribe that to them?
No, I am not. But there are docs out there that will.
Is there a
just-
reward for you if you do?
I don't. I would say the answer is no. The biggest reward that I get, and you can actually go look, by the way, if anyone ever wants to do it, type in Sunshine Act. Go to the website, look up your doctor. You can actually see how much money they took from pharma over the last 5 years.
Really?
I want to check it.
That
I
is
said-
interesting.
Is that like kickbacks from like the reps and stuff?
That is like so.
Well, how would you even track
Anymore,
that?
they can't give you
I think they're
kickbacks,
supposed
so-
to legally.
So they can't give you anything.
track it.
They can't
Okay.
give you kickbacks for anything anymore. I can't
Oh,
get a
okay.
pin. The reason that there's no longer any pins, they can't give me a pin. They
Okay.
can't give me a notepad.
And I'm ignorant. I
They
don't
can't
know.
give
I don't
me-
know.
Yeah, we're
I'm,
just
I'm
trying to-
assuming from
At one point in time, I mean, walls of clocks
Right.
and pins were. I mean, I still have baggies. I mean, gallon
Gotcha.
baggies of pins from whenever you could still get them from drug reps.
Wow.
You can't now.
Okay.
I'm like a child.
But what you can get is you can get meals. They can bring meals to you, and they can bring educational materials that are for their drug. And I don't know if it still holds true, but they used to be able to actually provide so many dollars worth of actual, like if I needed a textbook, they could provide me a textbook. So unbranded textbooks they could do, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
Okay, well that's
honestly.
I'm glad to know there's some regulation.
Where the biggest amount of money actually goes in big pharma for advertising is direct to consumer.
Really?
Yes, it is no longer advertising to physicians and nurse practitioners and PAs. The majority of money is spent on commercials on the television.
Yeah.
And those people coming into
crazy. That's crazy that they see a return on that.
Why is that crazy?
You actually go back and you look at how much
So
their
that means
revenue
there's a lot of
went
physicians
up.
that are like the patient's like, hey, I saw the commercial.
And the answer is that
yes,
physicians,
that's exactly what they're
physicians
doing.
are going to say, okay, that's fine, because they want to keep their patients happy and keep them coming back.
Here's my problem. When I watch the commercial, I don't know what the symptom is.
The physician's not like, hey, I'm the doctor. I know what you need. I don't need you to be like.
Well,
that's how I function.
Yeah, Skyriva. I forgot about Skyriva.
That's
like
how
a
I
family
function,
on the
but
beach.
no, not all.
It's Rizzy.
Skyrizzy.
Skyrizzy. That's what it is. I was like, that sounds wrong. I know what he's talking about. It sounds wrong.
What does Sky Rizzy do?
Fuck if I know, but the
No idea.
but the commercials are there all the time. My favorite thing about that is like, oh, you can get rid of my eczema. It's like great. Now all I have to like worry about is like
Right, all the
kidney
side
failure
effects
and
and
like
stuff,
bleeding
yeah.
out my anus and like a bunch
But
of
then you have
suicidal
they
thoughts.
Take a pill
that I
for
need
that. They take a pill to control that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But that comes with side effects. You could take a pill for that.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I hate. I hate prescribing meds to treat a side effect.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's gotta feel real. You're
don't get
getting
me
in the
wrong.
weeds.
I write meds.
Are you a psychiatrist?
I'm a psychiatrist.
Okay.
So I write meds all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I write controlled substances. I write
All day.
non-controlled. I write branded, not branded. And I've had patients walk in and say, hey, I want whatever the newest, greatest commercial for bipolar depression is.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, we're not going there. Because even with your insurance, that's about $200 a month. I'm going to give you the stuff that's $5 a month with your insurance, and we're going to start there because that's cost effective.
Yeah.
And so that's how I believe in functioning, is that you've got to be cost effective. I mean, our healthcare system is
1/6 the economy and jacked up.
yeah, well, I wouldn't say jacked up. I'd say it's completely fucked up, but that's beside the point.
Wow.
And everyone wants to blame physicians for the state of our healthcare system. It has nothing to do with physicians. Physicians are...
It's all based off insurance companies.
Yeah, the insurance companies are where the decisions are all made. Physicians can make whatever decision they want, and insurance companies dictate what actually happens.
Do you want to touch on it for just a minute?
You didn't even.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I've been itching.
You didn't even bring up insurance, did you?
Well, let's talk about it. All right, Luigi, Daniel, go.
I think it's interesting reading how people are reacting
Let
to
me give you the backdrop here, if you don't know what we're talking about. So, whatever day it was, the CEO of
United
Healthcare gets gunned down in the street by
of New York at 6:45 in the morning.
That appears to be a well-trained assassin, like just cold, casual. Walks up behind him, had a silencer on it. He's manually rotating the gun. Classy. Anyway, I guess he goes to a McDonald's
in Pennsylvania and gets caught.
In Pennsylvania, smiles at a girl on camera, gets caught, and
the picture of him smiling.
The celebration of this event was really wild because, like, and people on like my mom's camp, like, can you believe these people are celebrating the murder of this guy? And I'm like, yeah, I can.
That's it right there.
But everybody's trying to make it a left-right thing. And it was like, no,
it's not.
Ben Shapiro was the greatest example of this I saw because he did a video excoriating this guy, and he got
destroyed,
fucking tanked.
Yes,
like upside down. His own fan base, which is about as right-wing as you get.
They took it to him,
and the comment, and I read a lot of them, and they were like, man, you never had to worry about coming up with the funds to save your mother's life or your grandmother's life and this and that and your copay and all this stuff. And all these people had lost people because of these things. And you read this stuff in person. And so, do you condone violence? No.
I don't
is this
condone
going to start a
violence.
conversation that's going to start an avalanche?
But I see why people aren't upset about it. I completely understand why people aren't upset about it.
I'm not upset about it.
I'm not really that upset about it. But the thing is, I hate feeling that way.
I know.
I hate feeling
I
like
agree.
this guy has a family and he's now dead.
I agree.
Okay.
But he was also the CEO of a company that they were in business to make money.
Yes. And sometimes making money hurts.
You make decisions that people don't like. I just hate that that's what the narrative is.
I get it. I'm with you. I hate feeling that way, but also I understand why people do. I'm not condoning violence. Like, what he did was wrong. Like, right.
It was wrong.
We're not going to condone murder. But I understand why people are, like, celebrating.
Unfortunately, I understand it, yeah.
What's your
I mean, you guys were kind of already there. I wasn't surprised when it happened. Like, we talk about social discourse and, trying to get civility back and whatever, but there's a lot of hurt around all that stuff. And, I haven't dug too much into the whole Luigi thing, but...
Oh, dig into it. It's crazy.
Whether you think that he's...
crazy.
I mean, yeah.
And, he comes from a very wealthy family.
Very, very wealthy family.
Very wealthy family.
Who had the ability to afford the health care that he needed.
Right.
And he was highly educated, too, right?
Yeah, he was.
Didn't he have, like, a valedictorian speech out there somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, he was
a valedictorian at an all-boys school in Massachusetts.
I'll never forget.
Right?
It was one of the greatest shorts I've ever seen is... They're walking him out of a detention center into a vehicle.
Oh my God!
And all these reporters are yelling at him, and one of these guys goes, "Hey, Luigi, it's me, Mario." Yes.
But we act like that, but also the display they made of him in New York City. They knew what they were doing.
Did you see Saturday Night Live when they brought him up on the
No,
Weekend
I
Update and everybody cheered? And the dude, I don't know, who's the guy that hosts?
Colin Jost.
Is that him?
Was it
Weekend Update?
What's the other guy's name?
Michael Shea.
Michael Shea.
Shea. Yeah, and he was kind of like weirded out by this love,
It is weird.
It's polarizing. Lee, what do you think of this whole deal?
It sounds a little sick.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it is.
But I'm the whole thing I'm thinking about is like Mom died this year.
Yeah.
So that means a lot to me. I don't know any of these other people, CEOs or celebrities that pass away and make a big deal about it, but it's not a big deal to me. Somebody else's death. That's a celebrity. It's my own family that I'm most concerned about.
It's a callous way to think, but it really didn't affect you or your life.
That means people make a bigger deal about when a celebrity passes away or a sports person passes away than I mean, your own family doesn't get that kind of attention. I don't know. It's a little weird to me.
We shouldn't put that kind of
I'm paying attention because I haven't got
a celebrity. The amount of emphasis we put onto them. There are some people in this world that have truly given something to society, given something to our that their passing should be mourned. But I mean, go back to Einstein. Einstein provided something into the world. Most of these individuals in Hollywood, I'm sorry,
which was a big deal. Yeah,
they didn't.
Well, they create entertainment, right? But we as Americans, and if did you read the Vivek Ramaswamy post from was it yesterday, where people felt like American
mediocrity.
Yeah,
the mediocrity one.
Yeah,
I didn't read the entire post. I read because it was a little bit longer.
Well, a lot of people on the right are really pissed off at him, but
I
didn't think he was wrong about a lot of that stuff.
Well, we have worked our way to mediocrity.
Yes.
I mean,
what was the summary of it?
So basically, he's saying, if you're talking about why Indian and Asian people are dominating IT industries in America and why they're more sought after is like Americans were growing up on Saturday morning cartoons, right? And Friday night TV shows with the family and all this family bonding time while these kids are over there training for tests on the weekends, right? And studying engineering when they're in grade school. So not only are they qualified, like they understand this shit. They're not just figuring themselves out, right? Like it's a culture where you're expected to go into it. Like and
So people were pissed at him.
You're not a
Japan.
doctor and engineer.
But it felt like
Yeah.
he was attacking it, and he wasn't saying it was wrong. He's just saying don't be threatened when people outwork and outperform you.
Yeah.
Well, and it
Take advantage of the opportunities that you.
Right, well, that's what
that
Patrick
you
Bettany
take
was
for
right
granted.
there.
Yeah.
He said, I came over here from Iran and I had to work 60, 80 hours a week, and I was just grateful I had an opportunity as somebody whose parents were immigrants.
Yeah.
And I fought for that opportunity, and I got it, and I made something of myself.
Yeah.
The
this
American
whole
dream
conversation-
is now you're entitled to it. You don't have to work for it. I
Exactly.
think is the idea.
Yeah.
Well, this whole conversation got started over the whole back to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Over the whole Elon Musk stuff about the H-1B visas is where this actually got started.
Okay.
Is in that.
Oh, yeah.
Because Elon was saying that we need to actually support and push for that. And the far right wing is actually pushing back against Elon right now because they want to shut down all immigration.
Yeah, so this is
and
interesting. This just came out
that's
in the
where the
last
Ramaswamy
24 hours
Yeah,
or
that's
so.
like
This is
36
pretty new.
hours, yeah.
I haven't had time to do a lot of
Yeah.
research into
Me
it.
neither.
So just go a little further with it. So that's
So basically, Elon, 36 hours
what's the
ago or so.
what is the definition of this visa?
So H-1B visas there's 20,000 annual visas that
we can
license out to foreigners in highly skilled jobs.
Mhm.
And so Musk's view on this is that we need to support that, and we need to use that to bring in folks like engineers, IT people, physicians. I mean, these really high skilled kind of locations, and we need to support that and bring that in because we don't have the homegrown talent to fill those roles.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist. That's when Ramaswamy came back and said the whole mediocrity thing. Is it was over the fact of
Yeah.
that's
Good
actually
context.
that's where that
That's
mediocrity
where that
complex
started.
actually started was
Nice.
from that Elon Musk statement. So
Glad you gave that context. I did not know that.
yeah, that's
Nice.
where that actually came from. So
Which is interesting because that really is that's a little bit scary for a lot of us. But when you go to a restaurant and the kitchens, there are no white people working in those kitchens, right? It's all Hispanics and stuff. We don't worry about
don't worry about that
as
job
much.
being
But
taken.
that other stuff rises a little fear in my blood level when I
Yeah,
hear
the
it.
consequences
We don't
of the
worry
culture.
about losing our job taking tomatoes.
in the streets and
We might worry about our job as an engineer.
Right.
Even though I'm not an engineer.
Right.
yeah.
It's kind of what I think of like when I worked for a big corporation locally here.
All right.
People would
You
be
set me
like,
up for that
they're
one,
going
Brian.
to tax these millionaires. I'm like, yeah, man, it doesn't impact us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't need to tax them. Yada yada yada. I'm talking. They really thought that at some point they were going to be so rich that these millionaire taxes were going to impact them that they were against it at this point, not realizing, dude, you're never going to make $100 million.
no, that's true. Yeah.
No,
But they didn't want
I
to.
heard a lot of my clients talking about that kind of stuff, and you'd have to say, that's only for people that make over $100 million.
Yeah, you're not going to. Anyway,
You don't have anything to
So
worry about here.
I don't think it's right necessarily, but it's
Right.
not going to impact.
You're
most
not
people.
impacted by
and
it.
people will get huffy
Oh, yeah.
about it. You
Less than
challenge them,
1%.
they get huffy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Challenge them on what exactly?
Like they're making,
missed
they're
some-
worth $1 million now, but this tax increase is going to happen. It's going to impact people that make $200 million a year. They're getting pissed because in their mind, I might make $200 million a year. He's telling them, you're never going to make $200 million a year. Who are you to tell me that I'm never going to make $200 million a year?
I see. Wow.
It's just like, was that really Luigi in that picture that shot that guy? How do you know it was him?
We don't. We're only as
And I
good
mean,
as.
like that's where we're at.
But think if AI is already running governments right now, and it could be possible.
Well, that was part of it. Was AI was doing some of those denials for United Healthcare.
Well, I mean, that gets back to the whole. Oh,
You didn't know this?
So,
No.
So did you? So healthcare facilities. I'll get into this one. I actually know.
You didn't know this?
We're about to go on the journey.
We're
so-
about
about to
to
go on
this
the
is me
journey.
getting pissed off. So, these healthcare companies, all of them have AI programs that when I send in a prior authorization asking for a service, it goes before AI before it sees anybody. They can set a denial rate, whatever they want it to be. If they need to make more money, they have an increased denial rate. If they want to make less money, they
go through.
can drop it down. And when that denial hits, now the AI is not the end of the story. I will say that the AI is not the end of the story. It then does go to a human reviewer who has a high school diploma, who is making a decision on your health care.
So say what you want about Newsom in California. California is passed legislation that AI cannot do that anymore.
Yeah. And it is a well-known problem.
Well, I think it was 9%. United Healthcare is having a 9% AI denial rate.
United has a sliding scale between 73 and 97% denial rates through AI, depending on what they want to make that month.
And that contribute to the overall, 35%?
Denial rate? Yeah. And actually, but the interesting thing about denial rates is that human denial rates are actually higher percentage-wise than AI is. AI actually clears things more often than humans do.
But see how fun it was for us to have that conversation about how bad AI was?
I was reading something about parole boards that are using AI.
I'm just getting going so hard.
Approving parole or denying parole based on the AI algorithm.
Oh
God, that's
my whole goal here tonight.
No, seriously, I really thought you knew about the AI and healthcare
Christmas
denial.
is crazy, dude. Like,
yeah,
I'm just like, I can't even get news right now.
Did you say Christmas is crazy?
It's fucking nuts.
Google does not work around Christmas time. Ever. It's always a failure.
This was the only thing. I cut everything out this year. Like, it gets so nuts, and you're doing things for people you only see once a year. I'm like, fuck these. Like, if this is the only time I see you, is for this, and I don't even want to see you now. Why am I stressing out about this?
Yeah, man. Yeah, get rid of that shit.
It's like when Javier Malaga, it's like the fuego, he's still off it. Like, that's me cutting people out of my life at Christmas. Like, don't need it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Out.
Does everybody know what he's talking about? I'm the only one that's...
He's just having a moment.
Okay, I just had to I had to check the pulse of the room, see where I'm at, because I was like...
You know what I'm talking about.
What? I wasn't listening.
Yes!
He gave up on AI.
The Argentinian
Some of this stuff is over my head.
I can't wait till you listen back to this.
Baffles me.
And you see that stream of consciousness bullshit that you had going.
No, I never said that him dying is a good thing.
I'm not saying it was
That's
bullshit.
the problem.
I'm saying that the strings of word that you chose to put together was bullshit.
I agree with that.
I think we need to
idea was sound. Delivery.
I know some investment people that
cut out all the
do
bullshit.
a lot of their advertisements just creating AI and stuff like that. And I think it's really interesting,
I
but
know. Yeah.
there's nothing better than face to
His
face.
son needs like a heart transplant.
Oh,
He
saying no.
But
he pulls out a gun in the opera. He's like, I'm not leaving until he gets a heart type of thing. And that's what it reminds me of. It's this weird juxtaposition.
I don't know if it brings in people.
It's to be complete chaos.
You got to keep the status quo with society, but also when you bring it.
Pop something in like super easy ChatGPT wrote a description.
Deep breath.
Yeah,
Settle down.
I do a lot of that.
I played with it.
That's what she said. And we're all back in the conversation.
I told Green, I said, let's just let it ride. It's chaos. Let it ride. Eventually it'll settle on one conversation.
Cheers.
Episode 69, right?
And that's right.
That's what he said.
But let's talk about this. How good of a time was it on episode 68 though? Brief,
so good.
It's great.
Brief but good.
The
Yes.
best 60 seconds I've had all day.
Man, it's a boring day.
Saying a lot.
It's a really boring day.
Woohoo!
Wow.
I did learn I shouldn't drink a bunch of
It
water.
says
before a
more
podcast.
without saying.
Oof, I drink a bunch of beer.
She hadn't hit the batteries
He'll
yet.
start
Is what I got out of that.
This to you. I mean, he pretty.
Do you need some bourbon?
Oh my
What
God.
happened?
So we've got one person.
Has anybody tried the carnivore
You
diet?
have two people.
This is a bad supply chain. We've got too much
Look at
being
this.
forced.
Why
There's
do you
no
need to?
demand, but the supply's like, take it anyway.
You don't want a vegetable?
Oh yeah, you can't have vegetables.
I wish you'd get on camera.
That's why it's the carnivore.
Does it? But does it
not
work?
even on camera.
He didn't want to be. He's fine.
Well, I'm just saying.
Until you
like,
get off of it.
I swear by it.
Yeah, but there are also
As
people
long
that
as
are
she
doing
is.
reels and they're trying to sell a subscription to it.
So
A subscription to the carnivore diet? How the hell
Oh,
do
it
you
says-
do
it
that?
says-
and meat.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
tell people you know the secret.
You gotta
Pay me
subscribe or
$40 a
whatever.
month, and I'll
You know
share
who
it
does
with
do
you.
it?
Who?
Elon and Joe Rogan.
Well, they have done. Do they do it all the time?
Rogan.
Have you
does.
seen
Rogan
Elon
claims to
lately?
do it.
Is
Rogan
any kind
does.
of diet that he's on working for him? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
I
see
would,
him good and I see him bad.
I would
don't
say
know
he's
what's
got
real.
what you would call a billionaire's body. Like,
Like Bezos.
Joe's
he
disciplined.
looks like a fucking barrel.
Right, but he chooses to like build that kind of like he's disciplined, and that's why I hate him.
Who, Joe
He
Rogan?
makes me feel like shit. If
Who are you talking about?
6 o'clock comes and goes, and I haven't gotten in an ice bath, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking worthless.
You do have a real issue with that ice bath.
The fucking ice bath,
Yeah,
dude.
I'm not taking a fucking ice bath.
Are you serious? You get an ice bath?
No, I'm saying I'm not going to do it, but Joe Rogan's always like, you got
Like,
to
he's a big proponent
The
of
only way to
ice bath.
succeed in life is to get in an ice bath.
Yeah.
And you call yourself a pussy
And
if you don't
gotta
want to
eat.
get in
It's
it.
all protein.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this is the only way to be a real man. And I'm like,
Well,
yeah,
you know,
fuck
Joe
you,
will.
Rogan.
Joe admits though he says things just to get a reaction.
I haven't
Oh,
actually looked at the
100%.
numbers.
You know, I don't
but
think he's saying that shit to get a reaction. I think he thinks he's the most disciplined person on earth. But
Maybe.
he is. And I
Listen.
respect that, but I also...
You don't need to hear that shit.
It's not his fault that I'm insecure, right? I'm not willing to work.
There we go.
I want to hear where you're going with this.
I'm not willing to work that hard or go through that much discomfort, right? So he's not the
Because
bad
I think
guy.
he's actually a pretty good example of like as well-rounded as you can be with being that dedicated. Because when you get to somebody like David Goggins, like that's
too much.
I feel like that's too much discipline.
Right.
You're probably sacrificing all sorts of types of other aspects of a full life.
Well,
like
what did you think of the
relationships with your
Did you
family.
read the Vivek?
What's that?
The Vivek tweet we're talking about, like his criticism.
No, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I've been turned off for
Yeah.
about a week. I've been trying to stay off media while I'm, resetting for the next year.
But it's absolutely true.
No, I think it's a harsh reality.
I think
though.
it's nice
But
when
people are afraid.
but
of
whether
harsh
they're
realities.
politicians or not, where they're actually saying things that are lost.
But from what I've heard, I like the message of it because I do think that that's true. Dude. I think that there's a lot of people that are like natural born citizens that get a little bit like jealous or envy or whatever of people who come here and take advantage of the opportunities that they kind of take for granted.
Yes.
And feel entitled to, and then you see this Arab, gas station or like hotel, and they're like, oh, look at these Indians running.
Yeah.
It's like, well, all they did was take advantage of the same opportunities that
You
had.
You had.
Except
There
they
it
didn't.
is.
They didn't
There
have
it
it where
is.
they came from. So when they came here, they freaking got with
Boom.
it. And that's I'm kind of split between some of that
See, I'm
because
on
it's the
team
cultural
Vivek here.
differences, know, and like what was it, like the Wonder Years or something? Because I saw a bunch of tweets. Did Vivek specifically call out watching the Wonder Years?
Yeah.
Okay, because I saw some people I saw like response tweets.
But
like,
it wasn't just
hey,
Wonder Years. What else was
I
it?
grew
It
up
was,
watching
uh,
the Matters.
Saved by the Bell.
Oh, okay. I grew up watching the Wonder Years. Am I a piece of shit because I didn't start it?
But
I saw some of that.
But he was talking about. He wasn't even attacking that culture. He was just saying this is what
that
y'all
seemed
were
like an
focusing
overreaction.
on.
Yeah,
it is an overreaction.
Yeah. I didn't read his original.
Well, he's not wrong, but conservatives in a civil
Nobody
war.
gets excited about ours.
Hot take.
Nobody cares when we get over
Controversial opinion. No.
Well, it is.
Everyone's trying to get reactions.
There's a right wing civil war going on right now. That's what was it you said earlier? It's like the tech.
It was
the
always
tech
going to
versus
happen,
the-
though.
Yeah.
Because you
Of
had.
course it was going to happen.
I mean, the coalition was like the
super rich,
the super rich, basically blue collar, like
There's a lot of super
workers.
rich people on the left, dude. You can't use that as a.
No, there's more.
Dude,
Well, no, it was just the
GOP
super rich
is
within
tech.
a party against
Yeah,
and he's right. There's
you
the
have
blue
the tech.
collars of a party. We're doing it. We're doing it the same thing. Democrats doing the same thing right now.
It's the tech bro entrepreneur, like the VC capital folks, like that. They paid for, they convinced, they lobbied for Trump to win. He won. That's part of that whole coalition. That's the part that Vivek would be
Yes,
beholden to,
I think
right?
so.
And then the other part would be people that live in a town that's probably less than 5,000 people that are in a rural community,
like the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Well, we're talking only right wing now, but so you take the billionaire tech savvy whatever on this side out of it, and then you have the blue collar rural worker vote, but then you have like people that really are scared of losing their jobs to immigrants, and so this tech bro, they're outsourcing tech, they're hiring engineers on those visas and stuff. That's the split there, and then you have all the blue collar working people that are afraid that immigrants are going to steal all of their jobs or threaten their way of life in general, whether that's labor or personal, but cultural. And that's the 100%. Real crux of the Civil War, quote unquote Civil War that's happening. But that was always going to be because
it's inevitable.
Because
Absolutely.
their interest conflict.
It was a weird union to begin with, and it's like it's kind of like these alliances during wars, right? These weird coalitions come together, then they win, and it's like
everybody's like, "What do we do now?
How do we split this up?"
Who's going to run this coalition out? We're the winners.
And then you've got media trying to put the Elon president thing going on, and you got all these external forces.
He won't leave him alone. He's like a little thirsty bitch, man. He's like up Trump's butt.
Yeah, but a lot of the criticism I'm seeing is that Elon's like off the leash.
Yeah, I've seen those memes where he's like got the Trump puppet or whatever, which paints all kinds of gross images in my brain.
Yeah, I don't know.
He probably feels some sort of responsibility. He's like, I have this much influence, I'm this close to him, it'd be screwed up if like I didn't like steer him in the right direction. I feel like it probably does come from like an altruistic standpoint. I don't think the guy's actually evil.
No,
Elon?
Elon?
Yeah, Elon. I'm talking about Elon trying to steer Trump in the right direction.
Elon has nothing altruistic in his bone in his body.
You really don't think so?
Really?
No, that man is 100% for what he can make.
Oh, you think that he would take you to like a diner and like buy you a burger?
No. I think it's more even simple than that. I think he's just altruistic. So curious. He's like
I think it's a masses. I think it's a masses thing. I think he'd make a sacrifice decision easily. That would be hard for some people. I feel like if it was like 20% of the population dies,
as long as he stays as long as he's not in that 20%, you're right. He would because it doesn't affect him.
There it is, right there. Right. That's it.
I don't feel like he would be conflicted by something like that. He'd be like,
but the minute that it affects him negatively, he would not say yes. Let's do this.
Hold on. What's your whole idea with Elon? You say nothing is altruistic.
No, he's completely narcissistic and focused on himself. What I can get, what I can do, what's best for me.
You don't agree with that?
See,
I think everybody's like that.
I didn't disagree with that. I won't disagree with that statement, but that a large majority of the population is.
I think it's much more simple than that.
You admit that Trump's a narcissist all the time.
Are you
okay? So we're just going to take that.
We don't have a problem with it.
We're going to take that. We're going to put it in our pocket. We're going to shove it away. And then, so do you think that Elon's a narcissist? No,
not at all.
Okay.
I think his mind.
I'm confusion.
I think. Well, let me just hear me out. Go
ahead.
I think his mind is so childlike on one level that he is just obsessed with curiosity. It's like little kids just wanting to see what they can fucking do with unlimited boundaries. Like, I can do all this cool shit. How far can I take it?
What is more narcissistic than a child, though?
Self-interest is him clearing the way for his own freedom to do whatever the fuck he wants. Is that narcissistic? Yes, but I think it comes from a more primal place than like pride. I think it comes from just like
his own statement
pure
purely about pride. That if I don't have control of this company, then I'm going to take and break it up and Tesla.
But that's a childish behavior, right?
But that is a narcissistic behavior.
Okay, so when we reach out, children are narcissists.
Children are narcissists.
Absolutely.
These things can be true at the same time.
Right, but he's not. That's not childlike behavior.
What is not?
Things like, again, it's my way or the highway. That's not just childlike behavior.
But children behave that way if they don't have good parenting.
Everybody behaves that way.
Yeah, if you're not
Everybody
safe
behaves
on
that
that
way.
way.
And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it's how our brains are developed.
Yeah.
There's never been anyone as powerful as him in my lifetime. With as much influence.
Okay.
But I don't think we can make people villains and we can make people heroes. I mean, the media does. But anything to do with the White House is not your house. They do not know you. They don't care about you. They don't know your name. I mean, it's your house that's got to...
They got my fucking email address, though.
Do they?
Yours, probably.
Hoagie there in January. I got friends that were there.
I'll get pardoned in a month. It's all right.
Yeah, but by the same tape, you could dial that all the way down. Like the CEO of Walmart does not know you. I mean, he might legitimately know somebody in here, but he does not know you. He doesn't care about you or whatever, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to know me, but if he's going, it depends on if you're talking about Elon or if you'd mentioned the government. The government doesn't have to know me in order to have the obligation to serve and protect my best interest, because that's what they're there to do.
So you're saying so yeah, so you're maybe that one like just because they don't know me doesn't mean they're not trying to do what's best for me.
Yeah, absolutely. The difference between the government and someone like an Elon or even the CEO of Walmart, neither one of them have to know me, and neither one of them have to be my best interest at heart. Elon definitely doesn't. The only thing that the CEO would have to do, on an individual basis, was to keep me coming back for more, right? If it was a retail product. So,
CEO's job is to make his shareholders money.
Sure.
Yes.
Right.
Well, he's trying.
They have an obligation to it most of the time.
That's really what it's called, isn't it?
Did you know it is?
Yeah.
That's how these Chinese companies buy America. They buy over like 30% over what the asset value is, and it's like, hey, you can't turn that off. It's so big, it's an offer you can't refuse, right? And there are not a lot of laws at the time. I mean, a lot of people are making laws now. But it's like, that's basically how Elon got Twitter. I think he gave it over. Like, he basically, didn't he pay over market value for that?
He made an offer for $46 billion.
But wasn't it over the estimated price?
Oh, yeah.
But
and he tried to back out of it like 5 or 6 times.
Because it dropped.
But the over market value is what forced the hand of the board,
Right.
Because they
The fiduciary
couldn't deny, those type of profits for the shareholders.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, brother.
Balls out.
Balls out. Yeah.
Balls way
Another
out.
4-year-old.
Way out.
Apparently.
Go do it, man. I respect it.
Appreciate it, man.
We'll see you soon.
There's all this on the table, buddy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Heck
You're
yeah.
right about that, man.
I know. It's good to see you.
See you guys.
See you, bud.
See you.
Also, there was no table. So it was a fucking liar.
What table?
Well, there was a table between some of us.
Not over there.
So
It's fine.
How was Aaron's Christmas? Did he have a good one?
He had a really good Christmas. He did. He got a drone for Christmas.
He ain't fucked it up yet.
Has not fucked.
Theo fucked his up when he was like, I gotta see. He's like,
You know where we
Give it a little more room.
He had it almost to the highway. They had to figure out how to bring it back. I was not there. I did not see this event take place, but the drone came back right before it ran out of battery. It crashed.
Drone conversation's sort of gone now too, isn't it? Anybody talking about all the drones anymore? That sort of event that came.
I'm kind of glad you brought that up. What the hell is going on, Green?
You talking about in New Jersey?
Yeah, dude.
What?
So they're popping up every hat on. What's going on?
Is there a military something around New Jersey?
Is that New York?
There's bases up there, yeah.
Okay, because that's literally the only fucking reason why you go over to New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't read anything about it.
What do you think it is?
All I saw was a couple of videos like, hey, look, there's another drone over here.
And I was like, I don't know what all that was. I don't know what all that was. But it was interesting. It was interesting, all the reaction. But it's like everything else. Here it is. It's the story, and then it's big for a week or two, and it's gone.
It's a distraction.
Well,
That's what happened underneath.
Wow, what was it?
What happened?
I did not. I thought she was ventriloquist. I didn't say it.
What? Dark said, what do you think it was?
I had no clue what it was because I haven't done enough on that particular one. That honestly was not.
Do you think it's
Elon? I don't think it was Elon. So, like I say, there's a lot of other things I think are Elon, but that's not Elon. So
I tried to follow that story
I
for
don't like you.
I tried to follow that story for like a hot minute, but they kept saying like it could be personal, it could be like more than personal, which would, you know, be like governmental, I guess, not personal. But that they could never pin down a thing, and then I just see so many videos in fucking New Jersey where they're like, look at this thing, and it's like a hashtag UAP, like it happens all the time.
Yeah.
On my screwed up.
Well, is that part of it? Did it just become like this phenomenon? Like I think Roswell was probably similar. Like 50 people saw the same thing, right? So it's 50 sightings.
Probably Amazon.
3,000 people saw this. Like if there's 3,000 sightings, that's just 3,000 people reporting the same sighting. It could be, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, none of the video.
Wasn't there was something like it was like a Russian drone, or it was unidentifiable drone, or like
China,
or a China drone. I don't know.
Well, that's where like 90% of the drones come from anyway.
Like I said, it's probably Amazon that was testing the delivery system.
Something.
Right.
But then why are they stepping up and saying, those are ours?
But then you have to say, hey, yeah, we're doing this thing. Like, why wouldn't you state that? Like, that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
Well, you all know that Walmart's doing drone deliveries in Fayetteville.
Not anymore.
Are they not?
No.
When did they stop that one?
Just a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know they
I didn't know they stopped.
They do them by my house all the
What
time.
happened?
They were doing them out
All the time.
That's off the record.
What's crazy though is that whenever they do a drone delivery,
Decapitated.
the drone van drives there before the drone shows up,
That's true.
which makes it obsolete. Which makes it why didn't the van
They
just
have to
get
keep
why?
it within eyesight.
Yeah.
because it's
So basically, they need to have somebody on the ground with eyes on, like as the drone like touches down and delivers the stuff and then drives off. So for me, it's
on
all
the fucking thing to the door.
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
the drone up little van that like those little whatever.
So you gotta have a guy out there to link it.
Or just keeping eyes on it. I don't know what he's doing, but it's ridiculous.
But you just like drive out to the door, like the drone, like they're in the van.
The guy in the van who beats the drone to the destination, he could easily just have the merchandise. Why don't he just drop it off?
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, they let the
Which tells me it's still in
entire
beta.
the day after Christmas.
Oh.
And they are disbanding.
Was it not working?
Something
Or was it a job? Somebody was talking about jobs?
I think she said off the record. So
They're still doing that thing up in Pea Ridge, right? Or no? Like they had a huge.
Aren't they doing it
like
Farmington still?
they had a warehousing facility in
Nope.
Pea Ridge, and then like.
something like that. Yeah.
Anyway,
They
were getting shot
fired
down.
them like literally the day
Oh,
after
shit.
Christmas.
That's funny.
They no warning, nothing. They came in and they shut that whole place down.
That is a scary
And
thing.
that was a Fayetteville decision?
That was a nationwide decision. They're disbanding. Drone Up is no longer going to be in Walmart. Walmart will, yeah, that's why it will,
Walmart will do their
Walmart
own.
will come back if Walmart does that. They watch what other things do, just like Walmart did with DoorDash doing the delivery, the grocery delivery. They watched what DoorDash did, and then they modeled their own thing after it. Walmart Spark. So
I
they're
do
doing
love
the same
Walmart
thing.
delivery.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. She's like,
Oh, I do it. That's why I love it.
Well, it's a agoraphobic's dream. You put a box outside, you tell them to drop it in the box.
Yeah.
You don't have to
You
do
don't even have to put a
anything.
box outside. You just still drop it at the doorstep.
Well, at first you would go pick it up, right?
Right.
And that was cool. Yeah, you don't have to go in the store. And now delivery.
Yeah.
For like, what, $15 a month?
Like $9 a month.
But it's a great budgeting tool because you don't impulse buy when you go to the store.
Right, and you're there at home, so you can shop from what you have at home. Oh, do I have this in the cupboard? So yeah, I understand.
Marketers hate it.
Oh, you still can impulse buy.
oh,
That's true.
absolutely.
It's like, do you
Well,
shop
they
around to your
have.
cupboard?
Yeah, I have to admit that's still a problem. Is impulse buying.
I do like my Walmart Plus where I save a dime on gas.
God, this game's gone down the damn wirely. Are you watching this?
No, I looked at it when it was 1010 or something like that.
Jesus.
Or 2020. I
It's
don't
kind of a
know.
must win for, I don't even know if Cincinnati can still make it.
Yeah, they have to win both of them, and Denver can't win either of them. If Denver wins this week or next, they're automatically the last.
Well, okay. So if Denver wins tonight, they're
Yeah.
basically in. And Cincinnati's out.
Yeah.
Because they're the same fight for the 7th seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
It's kind of weird how some teams have the last couple of weeks off. You know, like some weak division games, and some people are fighting for their lives.
Well, the problem is they don't really know at the beginning of the year who's going to be doing
Well,
it.
that's okay. Yeah, you can't predict how
It looks like
it's
a
gonna
catch.
they do an office.
That's a crazy catch.
go. Well, that's the production office.
It still hasn't touched the
That's far away from the athletic facility.
Hey, one more thing sort of about politics or not. What do you guys think about tax reform? What kind of tax reform should there be?
Well, you're the financial guy. You tell us.
Well, I don't like taxes at all.
No,
So I don't know if there's, I don't like capital gains tax, I don't like taxes on dividends, all that stuff you've already paid taxes on.
right.
What about property taxes?
Those are always scary.
Well,
I don't really want to own anything.
Well, you technically can't own
11
anything
years, I've
ever.
lived at the same location, almost 12 years now. Lived at the same location. My taxes was $687 11 years ago. They're $1,385 freaking dollars now because of the damn school they built.
Oh my gosh.
And it's going to go up again because they're building another damn school.
How
So,
dare they?
Property taxes is the one
See,
that
that's why we-
I don't have a problem with educating kids. I have a problem with utilizing their own damn buildings, and they're building new ones to compensate tax credits.
Maybe that's why we need the lower income housing and stuff, so we can just rent instead of owning.
Oh, that's happening right now, though.
Oh goodness.
I would rather rent if there's some cool place to rent instead of owning, because I don't like the property tax or the homeowner's insurance.
But you're still going to be paying that.
And then there's still the issue with then you have all these landlords that now have control over the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're turning. Well, when I say they, the whole housing market's turning into a subscription just like everything else.
Yep.
Which I'm completely against. And if I have my way, I won't subscribe. So.
Did you watch the Tyson fight, Nicole? You didn't? Did you watch it, Austin?
Nope.
I watched it.
You all watched it.
I watched it.
You
But I
watched
tried to watch I tried to watch the first
Yeah.
3 fights before that, and it would scroll. Right? Did you get that on?
Yeah, dude, it was hard.
I didn't think I was going to get
That woman fight was brutal. It was the most real fight.
Oh,
the entire
yeah.
night.
Those ladies.
That was the second one, right?
The one kept headbutting.
No, the second one was. Well, the second one was 2 guys, and that was a really good fight
The
too.
ones was first.
It was the third
ones,
one.
The first one was BS, but the second and third one were great.
Yeah. The women was the third fight. Right
There were
before.
2 really good fights before the Tyson fight.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All I know is they marketed that to death, and they both made tons of money.
Yeah. But you're going to see more of that. You're going to see these young kids challenging these legends just to get in the ring with them. But is it wrong? Like,
He's got an end cap now at Walmart. I saw it today.
no, who? Jake?
Yeah.
Or-
I hate to
He's
make
doing
this.
this. He's with his. But he's also going.
Yeah.
Because he's got a little.
I need to make the 250 guaranteed money contracts.
How do you get those?
You're the quarterback of the Browns.
Become a celebrity sports figure?
Yeah, he renegotiated his contract down. But he still got 250 guaranteed money.
And it's OT. It's going overtime.
Ooh.
So, how's your Christmas stress level? Is it 0?
I had no stress.
All your family's dead.
Yeah. That's a side effect.
God,
You just you don't have to coordinate. You don't have to like go to like 5 different places. You don't have to deal with a whole bunch of fucking people that you only see.
My wife thinks
You
I'm
just
an asshole.
never ever see him again.
You already know.
I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody and he's like, oh, he's just a monster. God.
No, you're fine.
Fucking-
No stress for the holiday. Merry Christmas. It was a great holiday.
There you go.
What about you, Lee? You got a lot of stress?
What, Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it was the first Christmas here, so the difference is when it's at your house, you have to figure out ways to entertain people.
Yeah.
And
What day did you do it on? Was it actually Christmas? Day?
Yeah, I mean, the Christmas stuff, yeah. But I mean, start on Christmas Eve, going to,
Right.
what was the thing I went to? Golf.
Top off.
Yeah, I lost, but so that was probably the most stress. Because my son-in-law could hit it out to the fence.
You were more stressed about that than hosting Christmas. So no family drama on your side, like nothing.
No, my
no
family's
salty
pretty cool.
vendettas.
No.
People weren't there like to
We
fight.
didn't have any Democrats there.
We took them on the train station.
Now, when it was at Mom's house, when my sister would be, but we would never bring that stuff up too much, or else Mother would get a little angry. Leave ruining Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember a lot of Christmases. How about you, Dr. Sarah? Y'all have a good one?
It was a good one. We went down the weekend with 4 of my folks, and then Christmas Day we
Where are they again?
Central Arkansas.
Yeah.
So we went down to see them for the weekend. That's always a interesting event, but it turned out to be smooth this year.
Mark's not going down? So you got some cool stuff to do?
I mean, he's got cool stuff he could do, but he doesn't really like going down. So yeah, I mean, my parents, my grandfather, before he passed away earlier this year, they have a farm out there that's 190, 200 acres, something like that. So he has plenty of room to go out and do whatever the hell he wants to, but he's not comfortable. I mean, you know, here comes to your boys and they just haul off and go do whatever. My house, he just basically goes.
I think they just sacrificed one of the kids. It was some poor cousin from California.
Well, whatever.
Somebody just got killed.
I heard it.
You heard it. Yeah. Should I do something? Like, no, they know. They've already selected them.
Yeah, nah, he'll be all right. They'll figure it out. But at my parents' house, he doesn't tend to do as much. Unfortunately, my nephews, his cousins, they aren't. Even though they have a 200-acre farm to play on, the cousin that's his age wants to play video games all the time. That's not Marshall. Marshall doesn't know what a video game is, basically. So.
That's a weird dynamic my kids have with other kids. Is like my kids aren't big into video games, so my kids want to come over and just play.
Yeah. And I think that's why part of why Marshall and your kids get along so well is the fact that Marshall could care less about sitting in front of a video game. I mean, he would rather be building something or actually destroying something.
I'm about to win my 3rd NCAA football championship in a row.
How do you see it?
How do you see that? Who is it?
NCAA football, EA Sports.
Oh, okay. On video game. Okay.
So I play video games. But you know the thing about Christmas when you're starting to host at your house and the entertainment thing is you've got to have it more fun at your house So when you have kids that have left and they have their spouses and girlfriends and stuff, they all want to come to your
Yeah.
house. So it makes it a big competition.
Well, we're a slow investment, but yeah, I get single, different, yeah.
I mean, I've got a 17-year-old at home, and she's already said that if it's between her and her boyfriend's family, she would much prefer to come to our family for.
Good,
so,
good. You're doing good.
I'm doing something right, at least temporarily. So we'll see how long that lasts.
You might have weak competition, and that's okay too.
Well, we won't get into that.
Ollie, what's up, dude? What do you think? Did you see the new Beetlejuice yet?
No, I didn't. Was it any good?
Did you see it?
I did see
I
it.
did. Is it
Yeah, is it good? Because it's
I thought
it's on HBO or something.
Oh, is it
You
really?
did? I heard it was bad, so I haven't watched it.
I
I
thought it was
watched it
done
with
well.
my 8-year-old, so I got to watch it from his point of view, where he hadn't really.
Have you seen the first one yet?
He had, but not as many times as I had. He didn't.
Right.
He hadn't grown up with it.
You grew up with that shit.
Right.
Penguin
So-
movie sucked.
So
The what?
Penguin. Is that what it's called?
Oh, you.
Batman Penguin guy.
Uh,
Who's that guy who plays it?
Colin Farrell.
It's doing about the Penguin show.
No, it's the movie.
Because I heard the show was really good with Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell?
No.
I heard the show
Joker.
was...
Joker. I'm sorry. Joker.
too.
Joker.
Oh, yeah, Joker 2, I heard was
That
atrocious.
was Joker, not Penguin. Joker sucks so bad.
You saw it?
Yeah. I mean, it's on HBO now.
Yeah, I saw it.
Or
I was
HBO.
I was getting a last minute Christmas gift, like after Christmas, but they had Beetlejuice was on Blu-ray and Godzilla -1, and you gotta collect them all.
You did like Beetlejuice?
I like Beetlejuice and Godzilla. Have we talked about Godzilla -1?
You did, bro. You were gonna let me borrow it.
That's right. We
Yeah.
talked about that.
At the
Oh
very
shit!
beginning.
That's 2 hours ago.
It's like the first topic you brought up.
I want you to see it. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, Beetlejuice was good.
Really?
The thing
I thought it was fun.
we watched the first one, and I realized even though the tapestry is rich, the blanket was thin.
Oh yeah, that
It has no
way
plot.
overrated. The movie's way overrated.
And so, if you look at it through the same lens on Beetlejuice, the plot seems overwrought because there's so much instead of it just being simple. I wish they had like 3 plots. They should have just had 1 plot.
Overcorrected a little bit?
Maybe.
I felt like they were very respectful to the lore.
Yes.
They were very respectful to the original movie. They honored it, but they did their own thing.
by making that guy a villain where he got eaten by a shark. I think that was kind of beaten to death a little bit in the Beetlejuice.
Well, but that's kind of the cheesy element of it too.
That's true.
It's
That's
beating
the
that
Tim
joke.
Burton.
That's a Tim Burton, old school Tim Burton thing. But they used those cheesy, like stop motion effects for the sandworms. They didn't CG it. Like they.
It was great.
I thought they delivered. It was a worthy sequel.
Okay.
Because again, Star Wars fucking bent us over a barrel, and I'm not a big fan of the late sequel. Cobra Kai, on the other hand, I think that's the best way you could ever reboot a franchise. Anybody watch Cobra Kai?
I disagree. I say Ghostbusters with the all-female cast was the way.
All right.
God, I thought he was serious for half a second.
Serious.
Wow.
I mean, might as well have been the way they played it.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Didn't see it.
You never saw it?
With the girls?
You didn't see it either?
I don't watch movies.
Yeah.
If it's not something that was from the 90s, I probably haven't watched it in at this point in time. So
you disconnected. See, that's our thing. If it was from the 90s, we got to stick with it, right?
I stick with it as far as the fact that I keep watching the same damn thing.
I see.
So
did you watch Transformers 1?
The new animated movie. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
You saw it in theater, right?
Yeah.
You liked it?
I go to the theater. I love the
it.
theater. Yeah, I thought it was great.
You have more flexibility than I do, and you're also willing to leave your own property. So, this is a couple of advantages you have on me.
Well, see,
They were a little fast.
property and a lot of other things, but I've been married for 20 years, and we've probably been to the theater together 5.
Yeah.
So, maybe 6.
We go every week.
Good.
I didn't even know there's that much to watch in theaters right now.
Sure. There are really some and movies every single week.
I mean, Moana 2 was really good.
Yeah.
It's real dark though.
It was.
Like there was kids in there. I was like, are they gonna get this?
Yeah.
Or is this Scar?
I was really into it.
Was it?
Yeah.
You saw it?
Yeah, I was big time into it. Yeah.
Nice.
We went to Moana too. We don't even have a little kid.
Yeah.
I was into the first one, man. I was like, I'm into this. There was one little part of Moana 2 just towards the end that gave me just a little bit of a whatever, but I think it was just a knee-jerk reaction. I think it was innocent. I think it was whatever. They did like a glimpse of because it's all these like islander, people, Samoan or whatever, and Tonga and. But towards the end, yeah, they were all like the merging of all these different tribes and stuff. And there's one that was like they're real dark. And I was like, okay.
It's like we take everybody to
Zimbabwe.
I don't know. They were very friendly to them.
Were they from? Oh, I didn't know.
I didn't
What was the best movie you saw this year?
Thelma has to be one of the best movies I saw.
That was good.
And if you haven't seen it, watch it. Yeah.
What's the premise on that?
What, Thelma?
Thelma, she gets scammed, and then she goes on a.
It's just an original standalone, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah. She's an elderly lady. Gets scammed by like a fish thing. Yeah.
If stands out to me, the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah.
It was really good. I'm trying to think of. There was actually some really good movies this year. I don't know.
You introduced me to one of my favorite books, The Library of Melchor.
See?
Yeah. No, I trust your opinion. You know when you're trying to make it in the record business, no unsolicited material, right? So you don't send it to them. So I always have that policy with my friends. It's like, if I don't solicit your opinion on things, like, don't advise me. But there were a few people. Well, you know what I mean? It's like the guy that would be like, hey man, you really like this Nickelback song. And it's like, you don't really. You know what I mean? Some people you trust, like they get you, like they know what you like, versus somebody who thinks they do but is way off base.
They're on your meme list. Like they can tailor whatever kind of meme they want to send you.
Sure, yeah. But it's not an understanding. The Library of Melchor, my mom didn't like it, but that was kind of to be expected. But Max loved it.
He did? So he read it and he loved it?
Yeah, did.
No, I don't think so.
He reads fast. Sometimes he'll read too
Are we
many
Denver fans over there?
What is it?
Yeah.
I'm
Did
sorry.
you?
So you're doing cocaine over there? What?
Well, they were Denver fans, but I mean, with cocaine, whatever.
What are you trying to say, Brad?
What's happening?
Still was happening.
Are you a Denver fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's the Cincinnati fan? Anybody?
I'm just pretty much
No, I
playing
think
against
it's just
Denver.
all
So,
I'm sitting here alone against the odds.
Did anybody watch the new Twister movie, Twisters?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It was really good.
I really want to watch that. That's actually the original was the first movie that I saw in theaters.
So when I'm like, it was good. I still have some people that are like, oh yeah, like when this and this part happened and it was like so stupid and blah. I'm like, did you watch the first movie?
Were they from Oklahoma?
If you watch the first movie, you know that there was some really stupid stuff that was iconic to happen. Like the cow.
The cow, right?
In a tornado, right? And so people that are like, oh, this really happened in real life, like,
right.
I'll get you.
Okay.
So, Kansas City gonna go to the Super Bowl, Nicole?
I really do not.
Is the script already been written, or is this
ever
gonna?
ask. I know nothing about football. All I know is that I say Taylor Swift because it irritates you, and that's why I say it so much. So go Taylor's boyfriend.
They're not showing her as much as they did last
Taylor
year.
Swift and be a
I think
Broncos
so.
fan.
They'll show her once a game, maybe twice, but they're not making it all about her.
She went to a Taylor Swift concert.
We did. We went to
New Orleans.
Well, a lot of people have mistaken my hatred of the Chiefs for Taylor Swift. If you're a Broncos fan, that's your number one rival. I've been a Broncos fan since a little tiny thing. Don't like the Chiefs. I respect them. I respect them as an organization. And I will say the NFL was masterful. Even if they didn't introduce Taylor Swift and Kelsey, even if they didn't introduce them, which they capitalized on it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They are getting eyeballs on the NFL.
Yeah.
And so, does it suck to be like a guy who watches football and knows football and have a bunch of people watching your thing? Yeah, it sucks. But you're getting more people involved in it, which is ultimately a good thing, right? You gotta keep that thing alive.
Sure.
It's all money.
It's a glass half full right there.
Yeah.
It's
I like to look at it as refillable.
Okay.
Refillable.
well, the NFL went through some shady shit. And how do you think the commissioner ought to serve as long as Goodell has served? You can throw be some term limits.
Absolutely. But I think not about a lot of terms.
Yeah, well, the problem is they get corrupt on day one, so you really have to
It's a
just
little
have.
longer to sit in, though.
Yeah.
They get comfortable with it. Once they reach that level of comfortability, then that's the problem.
Are they gonna let the Redskins be the Redskins again?
I think that's probably gonna happen.
That's pretty cool, right? I mean,
Who are the Redskins?
I mean, the fucking fans want it. The people who designed the logo want it.
Right? Well, yeah, it's like the Lakota tribe or
Yeah,
something. Yeah, man, that's
yeah.
dude, let
It's
them.
kind of one of those woke gone wrong things. It's like, let's be offended on behalf of somebody while fucking them at the same time. Right?
They're like, dude, we drew that logo. That was our guy. What do you? You just
Well,
like
it's the same
erased it.
thing with Song of the South, the Disney movie, the Briar Rabbit movie.
Oh, they missed.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Oh, everyone hates
no. Everybody hates that
Do they have
guy.
like armored vans that they can ride these
They
guys?
should at the Pope Mobile. Yeah.
That's the only guys I feel sorry for in football sometimes is
The kicker?
the kicker.
Well,
Because they get
you literally have one job.
It's
though.
his only
I know,
job.
I know. And they're now kicking it from like 50 yards and making them.
Oh, you
Lee,
thought
have you seen these high school kids just line
no.
up to kick?
I haven't been to a high school football game in a long time.
You know Farmington won the state championship this year.
No,
It's wild. First
Against
time
who?
since 1973. I
that's
think it
cool.
was Little Rock Lakeside, I think. They got smoked. But anyway, 61-21. But it was a wild season.
I keep wanting to go to one, but my wife travels all the time, so I pick her up usually from the airport about 10 o'clock on Friday nights or 12 o'clock on Friday nights.
It's
Gives
just
you time to
wild.
go to a game.
I know, by myself.
You don't want to go to a high school football games by yourself?
No,
With a
not
bottle
really.
of bourbon and
Not really.
Sounds like my
I'm
dad.
not a big restaurant person by myself. Or
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
That's
So
it.
what are we going to see in 2025, Nicole? What can you say and what can't you say about your rebrand?
It's gonna be a little more serious and not just like topics, but like I said,
More serious than topics, like super topics?
probably some nudity.
Whoa, Lee.
I know, I've had a half beer.
Yeah, slow down.
I don't even know what the
not
podcast
even a
is
video
about.
podcast. It's just an audio podcast.
Oh,
But
that'd be interesting.
Since he brought it up,
tits
I-
out all the time. That's what I wanted to say.
Man, that would get some demand then.
Capitalizing.
Yeah.
I don't
Didn't
shut.
Howard Stern do some
Shift down.
new?
Yeah, I
shows?
do video,
Well,
but
But he wasn't nude, right?
I don't know.
it'll be
It's
a more
probably some
mature
guesswork.
podcast as far as not content, but just seeing how the whole brand has developed.
I guess I'm just having a tough time imagining you being mature. What does that look like?
I guess we'll wait and see.
What do
I'm
you usually
excited.
talk about
What do I usually talk about?
on the podcast? I don't know.
You gotta tune in.
She talks about herself a lot.
Like life?
Yeah, a lot about life. A lot about life. Did I just kick somebody? Yeah, a lot about life.
Hers is more like a journal. It's, wouldn't you say, like a
Her life journal?
Talking about podcast journal. It's like you talk about your life and your experience.
A lot of
her story.
And you do it with her?
No.
Oh.
It's just me.
Okay, well, she had the T-shirt. I didn't know.
Because I will always rep and support.
My best friend.
Kind of my peeps.
Okay.
Now, apparently,
I got
Nicole has pictures of Brittany doing something horrific, and Brittany's always roped into making
Damn
t-shirts.
it, I told you not to tell
We
anybody.
did not sign the contract.
The fuck I didn't.
She didn't tell me anything. I
Did
just know
not
that-
sign the NDA.
just know that look in your eyes. I gotta make 100 Durham t-shirts in a weekend.
That was fun.
I
It
felt
was
so
a
bad
day
about
and a
that.
half. That
I
was
didn't
a
know
day
y'all.
and a half.
I just, like, naive of me, I just thought y'all were gonna run through like a fucking machine or something.
No, we
I
have to
had no idea
handle that
what.
shit and press it.
Yeah, I felt bad.
Do you have your own T-shirt?
I do. He has
Podcast T-shirt?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Well,
Oh.
she did our Durham shirt. Well, we do not have podcast t-shirts.
We'll
but
be doing those in January.
we'll talk. Yeah, let's talk.
So I have
couple
a,
weeks.
I have another company which is part of, was part of my brand, and now we're branching it off into its own, which is a promotional materials company, which is t-shirts. And
Which is going to be fucking fabulous.
yes,
You remember when we were gonna have our own design firm?
Felonious Clothing Company.
I remember a lot of dreams, Jason. They got dashed to the rock.
It's easier to market that
Or
stuff
lack
nowadays,
of
isn't it?
Yes.
Ambition.
A lot
Lack of
easier.
ambition.
You
Grit.
just get one viral video on any platform.
Raising
I wish I
the
had a
Saturday morning
product to
cartoons,
sell.
Both of us.
Well, we
I
can
don't.
create something for you.
We could definitely find something. You
I
have-
need something to sell. I need or one
Create
of
a
those
podcast.
I think there
iPads
is
where somebody can
something to
just
that,
swipe
though.
their credit
Like,
card
I
and
do
tip
think
me.
you
Oh,
normalize mediocrity.
I need to
But
figure
that
out
also
how I
doesn't
can get my money in
say
tips
you're
now
not
if we're going to
capable
have
of
tips
rising above it.
tax
For
free.
everything?
Same time.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Tips
Yeah.
are
It's
tax-free.
not a
Some
fee
people are
anymore.
just
It's not a
gonna go
commission
with
anymore. It's
the easy.
all.
Like if you can play
It's
a
all
game
tip.
on easy
That would
mode,
be nice.
Wouldn't that be
Why
great?
not?
Because it's going to be tax free, maybe.
but some people are gonna play. A
When
lot
is
of
that?
people are gonna-
That is
You know
one of the
what I
things
mean?
that's
They're gonna
being
get 3
That was
on
one of the
level.
things that everybody was promising.
Then they're
was-
gonna replay the level
Exactly.
until they get 3 stars.
So like that blame the system attitude to me is like, well,
I would get a lot more money at the end
if
of
you
the year.
work harder than everyone else and you
What?
spend more time than everyone else
Tax
and then
free
become
tips.
more
Half
successful
of my
than
money
everyone
is
else, you
tips.
kind of
Well,
deserve
from
to
one
win
job.
the spoils.
Yeah, that was
You
one of the
know?
big. That was one of the big issues. Both parties were saying tips tax free. Tips tax free, overtime tax free.
Do you think it's possible? I don't think I posed this to you yet. Trump with his ego, right? He wants to go down as like the next Reagan. He wants to go. He wants to be on Rushmore, right? In order to do that, you got to do something pretty badass. Do you think it's possible that he could eliminate the income tax
There's no way
with
that
some strategic?
there's no way that you cut the corporate income tax from 22 to 15% and also cancel the income tax. It won't happen.
But if within conjunction of Doge, though, if you were to say cut, and again, that's a lot of if Congress passes something, you can't just cut it, right? Can the executive branch just say
It's called a veto.
Congress? But
Yeah,
after
but it's
the
already
fact,
passed.
Oh, after
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
things that are currently in the
if
pipeline.
Congress
Yeah, it's
passes
already passed.
funding in 2020 that's still ongoing,
So there's
and Doge says we recommend you cut all this. Nicole, watch out.
I'm sorry.
You're all right.
the only thing,
Entrapment.
It's fine.
the only thing that the executive branch can do about a law that's already enacted is to make an executive order that's crafted around it to diminish or nullify its effect.
So can Doge
But
do
that's
that?
under the review of the judicial.
So if Doge goes in and says, "Here's $2 trillion in excess spending. Here's what we advise you cut," is it as easy as Trump just saying, "I cut it"? Or does he have to bring every individual thing in front of?
Doge would make their recommendations, and that recommendations to Congress. So then it would be on Congress, which at this point kind of needs to be bipartisan in order to pass anything.
Yes.
In general.
Yeah.
At least for the first 4 to 12 weeks of Congress.
Right.
But they would then have to take that under advisement, craft a bill, vote on that legislation, and then get it through for the executive to approve. So that's the proper channel. The only other channel that really exists is if Doge makes its whole commission, they submit it to Congress, and the executive also got a report of that and then crafted executive orders that were based within that bill. As long as it didn't add or subtract from the budget or request funds, or as long as it didn't deal with money, then that'd be the only other option. But yeah, Doge doesn't do anything other than submit their reports to Congress.
Right, but it's not as simple as just slashing it either.
No.
Even if they just present, here's what we ought to slash, you can't just slash it.
No. Diminishing Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, touching any
but
of
even
the...
stuff, I'm not even talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about research kind of grants.
Oh, sure.
And stuff like that. That can't be is that part of omnibus bills? All these grants and shit that we're passing to study how many lines of cocaine.
What happened?
Oh, it froze.
Well, speak up, dear.
She
It's
was
not
trying.
you.
Dreaming.
It's not you.
I wouldn't use it.
Don't ask for this channel. That's what
Why
you should say.
is it?
God,
Keep
don't ask
screaming.
again.
How many seconds? It's like a bomb going off.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
You gotta start going
It was
9, 8.
Yeah. Ready for the countdown.
Wait, I thought
One foot.
we're in
One
OT,
foot in.
right?
1 foot in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't have a secure one.
I'm not gonna edit this
It's
out,
first
but
and
I wanna
goal.
watch this.
Nice. So
It's
they
NFL.
all it was.
This is the real deal.
We're watching the game.
Yeah.
For a second, I guess.
Enjoy it
Yeah.
with us. Go watch.
Whoa.
They're gonna roll out a touchdown. Nice.
They're going to say that's a touchdown.
What
huh?
a catch, dude.
Shoot.
Some bullshit.
Is that Bo Nix?
It's outside.
Hey, but Denver still has a chance, though, right?
No, I don't think.
No,
No,
not
so
it's,
they're out?
it's over.
They're out?
Oh no, if they win next week, they're still in.
Denver?
Yeah, if Denver
Even,
win,
Yeah.
even
I
if they
didn't
win
think that
next
this put
week,
them
they're
out.
still in?
yeah, if they win either this week or next week,
And
they're in.
Cincinnati had to win this one
Oh, yeah,
and the
yes,
next
it
one
was.
to be in.
Oh, okay.
He was inside.
Yeah, Cincinnati has to win both
Both.
weeks,
Okay, okay.
and Denver has to win one of the two.
Okay.
Look at me,
So
look
we still
like
got a
I know
chance.
sports and shit.
Well, you know
We still
more
got
than
a
I do,
chance.
apparently, because
You're the one that
I
said
thought
that.
this was the.
Unfortunately, it's one of those weird things that I've been keeping up with this year. So
You have.
I've
You're
not
really
been-
good at all this stuff.
I've
You know your
I've not
stuff.
been looking down the seeds. It seems to me like the
I
last
know
couple of
Kansas
years,
City.
the NFL has got like 4 contender teams, and that's it. Like, where in years past, we have more parity across the league,
49ers.
but it makes the elite stand out even more.
That's unusual.
Whereas
It's hard to stay elite, though.
used to,
Yeah.
you'd be like week 10 to finally see who was real. Whereas now, by week 4, like.
well, you can, or then you have teams that suddenly decide to get their shit together, like Baltimore did. So
What, this year?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They
I mean,
have,
they
but,
actually
I
have
still don't think Baltimore's in the conversation with Kansas City and Buffalo. Like, I just don't see anybody.
They actually have become into that conversation this year, as the year's gone on.
Well, you got Hunter Henry, man. That changed a lot.
Hunter Henry.
You've got Hunter Henry. You've got the quarterback in Jackson.
Yep.
I mean, a pass and run threat.
Are you tuned out?
To do who?
Are you listening or are you tuned
I'm
out?
totally listening. I heard Hunter Henry or something.
Who's that? Do you know?
He's the man.
Like a football player?
He looks like
Arkansas.
a man.
something,
I
Henry?
would like income taxes to be
I'm
cut.
totally tuned in.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
You're a finance guy, dude. How
I'm
do
not
you
a tax guy. I know enough about taxes to be dangerous.
If you were president tomorrow, what would you do?
I don't know.
If you cut income taxes, you still got to bring money in somehow.
Yeah.
But if you cut a lot of federal spending, you don't have to come up with as much money.
Well,
I
not
think
as
that's
much,
a
but you
fallacy
still have to have
in
money.
general. Even if you got rid of every single last governmental waste,
Okay.
you're not going. That's a drop in the hat to the military budget and Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. That is the bulk of what we
government
basically
and government pensions.
Right, but is it enough to lessen the tax burden by 1%?
I don't
Is it
know.
enough to make a
Lowering our
difference?
military spending by 4% would lower our tax burden by 1 or 2%.
Right, exactly.
We outpace the rest of the world. I mean, our spending outpaces everyone else combined.
Yeah.
So if we would cut our military spending, we would be able to balance the budget.
You realize that military spending is government spending, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like military are government employees and everything else.
Yes.
So if you
Even
don't think
the NGOs are,
I
are
just
also
find
part of that.
I find it disingenuous and part of the conversations that we have about like governmental waste and getting rid of government jobs and everything else, and not addressing any of the bloat and waste that goes into our military. I'm not saying that if you've listened to me or talked to me about military in any way, form, or fashion, I am a proponent of a robust military that is efficient and does everything else. But one of the things that is like sacrosanct you do not talk about is waste that lives in the military.
Yeah.
And with our military budget and the way that it is and the way that we spend it, are we spending it great? My answer is no. The counter argument to all of that and that long road that I went on was the fact that we look at like all these regulation offices and like administrative offices and everything else that it actually exists within the government, the administration part of it first. But we never talk about like all the waste that we could get rid of in general, and still have a very new and robust military. It's disingenuous to talk about that to me.
I'll use an example. This is a real life example that happened some time ago, and I have to be careful with a lot of details because I think this person is still in the military. But they were a manager at a particular office at a military base. They had just redid their entire office. Brand new computers, brand new furniture, brand new everything within the last 3 months. Their superior walked in and said, you have 48 hours to spend, I think it was $75,000 on office furniture and new computers. And the guy says, but I just bought them 3 months ago. The response was, it doesn't matter. If we don't spend the $75,000 in the next 48 hours, we lose it in next year's appropriations.
That's how government works.
Right.
And so they destroyed, because of the type of work that they did, they destroyed $75,000 worth of shit.
Yeah.
Because
in order to spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
And because of what they did, every bit of those computers that were less than 3 months old had to literally be shredded.
You're not surprised, are you, Brittany? You knew that was going on all along.
I mean, I've known that's
I've had a lot of family in the military. And
the kind of waste that happens. And that's what I mean.
Do you
We could
really?
save a lot of money if we
did.
wouldn't waste. So...
Well, lucky for you, Doge is on the case. So I'm sure that they'll find it. They'll put it in the report, and Congress will legislate
ignore
on
it.
that.
No.
Why are you such a cynical asshole all the
So
time?
what
Why are
is
you
this?
such
Where
a
did you get
cynical
that
asshole
from?
all
He
the
did
time?
say
Did
Doge
somebody
would
bring
find
that
it
for
He
him?
made it.
and report
He
it.
made it.
Yeah.
He made it for him.
But
or
is
he
most
made
of the
it
military
He
waste?
made it for himself.
Is it
And
on
you
the
just-
personnel? Is it on
I'm acting
weapons,
like a
or is it
child.
on
Yes, I understand this.
or everything?
Here, you fucking...
I don't
I'm
know.
good.
It's soothing. Give this to
It's
Nicole.
like oil and water and glitter. This is what I give my son to calm down. It's his calm down too with glitter in it. It's like whenever the glitter goes to the bottom, you can get out of your timeout chair.
So he has to hold it
Hold
still.
on. Is the timeout chair inside of a cage that is lockable?
No,
Should be with him.
should be. He's a lot. He's a handful. He's a handful of a lot.
He's like 3 souls in one child. You know what I mean? Like just a little
He's a
crammed in there. Have you
tornado.
met her son?
No.
No.
Oh, he's met you.
Oh yeah.
He's just met everybody. He's never met a stranger.
Never met a stranger.
Never met a stranger.
Yeah.
He's so not like me at all. He has brought the people person out of me, and I don't like it.
Did you guys find a field to fly the drone in?
No.
Okay.
No open fields close to our house anytime soon.
You should
want to bring it out.
just go to Fayetteville, and it's on, I think it's Van Ash, Terminella. He owns like that whole stretch. Just go out there.
Just go out there. Yeah.
People go out to the botanical gardens and fly them out there all the time too.
You know, well, in our neighborhood, we still have overhead wires in our neighborhood. They haven't gone underground everything, so it's kind of tricky flying.
What year did they make your neighborhood?
1974, I believe. So my parents bought that house in 1977. That's the year I was born. So I was born in the house.
Nice. Is that like a powerful thing for you to still be there, or is it?
It's not a powerful thing to still be there. I came back. I haven't been there all that time.
I know that, but like,
back.
is it like a powerful sentimental thing, or are you?
I often talk about the ghosts of the house. And I'm not talking like spooky. I'm just talking about like memories that, weird things that it's just like, oh my gosh. And you have memories like, we were doing something in the backyard and I came across the patch of concrete that was my old basketball hoop, where I would shoot. And so it's just like weird things like that, a lot of people might not get to experience. But having my son live in my old room is kind of cool.
I don't know very many people that are in a third generation house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's an unusual thing.
For sure.
It's kind of cool.
If any of y'all could go back and buy, like if you were a millionaire, would you go back and buy any of the houses you lived in prior?
Hell no, they're all tore down.
Absolutely.
Because they were all trailers, they got swept away.
Fuck? Do I look like trailer trash to you?
What kind of riffraff do we have over here? I swear.
Absolutely.
Kind of awesome.
Thanks,
I can't even look at you, so I don't even know what you look like, to be honest. Because that damn baby face looks like it ought to be on like a Gerber baby food bottle.
Oh, Jesus Christ, don't worry.
I would also go back and buy some Tesla and some Nvidia.
You into what? So you're the finance guy. What's your
I was
thought
just
on
joking about that though.
Bitcoin? All the
I don't know. I own it.
yeah. So you're playing in it.
I'm playing it.
Here.
Not really an investment. I'm playing it because of momentum. But this is not what I buy clients.
Right.
That's just me.
Right. And just personally, yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I mean, I have Tesla and I have Bitcoin and a few other things. But that's just trading.
Having fun over there?
I'm trying to. Let's see what all the hype's about.
It's fucking soothing.
It's fucking soothing.
I'd give it to Nicole if I knew she'd use it, but she won't.
I was holding it and I handed it to him.
Sometimes I wonder if you really want to help yourself.
With what?
To get better.
I do
or
not.
If you just
Absolutely
love the chaos.
do not. The
That
chaos
nuts.
is so good. What's wrong with me that I need to get better?
I
My
didn't
life
say anything
is-
was wrong with you. I think you just thrive in chaos.
There's nothing wrong with chaos.
I love that about you.
I don't thrive in chaos. I just don't get along
As long
with
as
the
you
calm.
don't go down in the ship with chaos.
Right.
You realize
Driving's
that
good.
nothing that has to be wrong in order to improve, right?
What?
What? Was that a shot fired? I didn't
hear it.
Nothing has to be wrong in order to improve. That's
Yeah.
like some Yoda shit.
I'm sorry.
Right there. Nothing's wrong.
And he's not even the therapist.
I'm just I'm just saying when he said something, you're like, "What's wrong with me?"
I did
What's
not say it like that.
No, that was your approach, and I was like, "But nothing has to be wrong with you in order to ask if you're trying to improve."
Correcto.
I'm always trying to improve on something.
Same.
I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday.
But see, that's the whole thing with like impatience. Like I'm a very impatient person. Like I want to get to the goal like immediately, right? So it's like it's a.
Then you need to start investing more.
Why? Yeah, I know, Lee. I know, Lee.
I love getting to watch this dynamic. It's really kind of interesting.
And I just switched overlords, so I got to switch monies. We got to talk soon, but
Oh, who you work with? You're not working with the.
no names, but yeah, we'll talk. But
I see if I can.
you got to move some stuff. Did you wanna?
Oh, no
drink
names
a
on the
beer out of
podcast?
Yeah, I don't do proper nouns on the podcast. You want to drink out of the Eagle?
No.
All right. You don't have to.
Is it a thing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's completely sanitary.
His wife kind of popularized the hashtag cacaw. That's a T-shirt I do want to commission. I want to get a cacaw shirt for.
If we could
Kim.
get a still video of her
should've thought
face
about
in
that.
the middle of a cacaw, I could
Yes.
put that on a T-shirt.
That'd be funny. She
Make
probably
that
would never
happen.
want that. But
She would love that.
Oh no, she wouldn't want it at all.
Nobody wants their face on a T-shirt.
But
I
she
still
would-
want one that says "Eat shit, JK, JK, JK."
Okay, just like in regular font.
What is up with you and shit? Like, am I missing?
Well,
something?
He was a fecal-philiac.
Yeah.
It's a whole long thing.
No.
He got locked in a outhouse when he was a kid.
The one episode of
It's streaming.
Brad's pod that I was on,
I made this up.
actually the last one I was on had Sheila in that.
Oh.
And so if you watched it, she spoke about one of her dating adventures on that.
I'm with you now.
She had the opportunity to tell this guy to eat shit for real.
It was a
But
Oh my God, I keep forgetting.
It's a thing.
Like, you were on that pod.
yeah,
Was Stillwell on that?
Still was on that. How high were you, God?
It was me. I don't. Nah, that's not my thing. I was.
That was
Natty
the
Light to
grossest
the
thing.
window.
I didn't-
No, it just was a
We
weird.
have gone through stories on my show with Two Reverends and a Pagan. We had not got anywhere close to what we got to on your show, was the shenanigans of Sheila.
Well, what I was
Sheila
trying to
Manigans.
do, this is a weird deal. So I was trying to have on your crew, and I was trying to navigate like having you and Drew and Stillwell on. And I was going to do both shows, and then I was going to try and mash them up. Well, it just so happened like I couldn't navigate either one of them, and I ended up double booking.
Right.
Like I booked them for the same night I booked y'all on. I was like, oh fuck. We'll just do the mashup show, and that's what that ended up being. Because you've not met Sheila
I'm glad
before
for
that
it
night.
because I got to meet her. Yeah.
The fucking view count after her death was wild, though. Like, people were going and watching. Like, her last month, I told you,
Yeah.
like, part of the reason I did the podcast was for, like, posterity and stuff. Because one of these days, you'll wish you had these things. And, like, I never thought it would be that quick. But, my God, I am glad
Yeah.
that exists.
That happened with the Fayetteville College chick, too.
Really? How so?
Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
She was a porno girl. That
What are you
she lived
into,
in.
Lee? Okay.
I'm
Reset here.
I met her.
He goes, it was a porno girl.
That girl right there.
I met her at JJ's. I met her at JJ's, but yeah, she so her thing was her and her husband, who is ex-military, would meet guys at like JJ's or Twin Peaks, and then for the podcast or the movie or whatever it was, bring them back to their house, and she would give them blowjobs and stuff like that, right? And anyway, her husband was the filmer, and
How
anyway,
do I meet these people?
she died. She died mysteriously.
This was in Fayetteville?
She called herself Fayetteville College Chick, but she lived in Bentonville. She didn't really go to University of Arkansas, but it gained attention as the title.
This is like OnlyFans deal?
I think she did. Yeah, she did do OnlyFans, but back in the day, on Twitter and stuff was tons of porn. So she had a bunch of little stuff on that. I'd watch her once in a while.
Which slid off
'Cause I met her.
I ain't
Snapchat.
judging anybody.
Oh,
That's where it initially
Anything
would
else?
slide off Snapchat, and then it would. pick
So
up
what
momentum.
what happened to her? What?
I don't know. Don't know.
She just got murdered?
Don't know.
I've not heard any of this.
Me neither. Like, you know,
It
if you wanna
was
elevate
a
your
year
channel,
ago. It was a year ago.
You know how the Daily Wire does like these
Not at all.
What is a Woman, or like these big documentaries? Nicole deep dives into the story of, you know, like
Fayetteville College shit.
Not what I thought he was going with that.
Then the husband was still trying to promote the stuff, and
While she's gone? Oh, he did.
And this was, when was this?
Oh, he
last
did.
year. I mean, it was last year about sometime in Christmas where she died.
Hold up, how many married dudes? Like, could
I
you
just
hold
met
the
her.
camera and film? Maybe you could. I don't know.
No, it was weird. It was weird.
You might be in it.
And I met her. I met her with a friend. She
Okay,
came over to my
I'm not
booth and
sure
was
about
sitting.
Out.
Sitting with us, and then her husband came over, and it's like, well, I'm glad you got to meet her. And I'm like going, oh, this is so weird.
Oh, God.
It was freaky.
I like that.
But no, I don't know how she died. That was the big mystery.
Would you feel comfortable holding the camera watching your wife get it?
That's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, once in a while she'd be with another
Whoa,
woman.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
It wasn't just always
I
guys.
gotta ask this theoretical question. So you wouldn't be comfortable holding a camera and watching your wife. However, you're comfortable watching someone else's wife while he holds the camera. And that's like acceptable?
Yeah,
It's
because
just-
it ain't
just
your
your-
wife.
Yeah, it's not my wife.
It ain't your wife.
But you would be comfortable watching his? Or
Yeah,
vice
again,
versa?
it ain't
Sure.
my
You'd be
wife.
okay watching his?
Now, this wasn't a direct question at me, right?
No.
No, just
Okay,
in general.
good.
Just general.
I was confused as like you.
He's the only admitted person to watch porn on this podcast, so.
Yes,
I'll
as
admit it.
admitted.
I totally.
If you know the person, if you know the
man,
person, it
no.
makes it a little more interesting.
Okay.
Curiosity killed the cat.
I would say the opposite. If
I
knew
would
the
not want
person,
to
I would
watch
be like,
anybody that I know.
No, I'm the
I
same
cannot
way.
think of one person. I cannot think.
Oh,
No.
No one?
Wow, Brittany's like,
Well,
not a single pit, not even me, in my nightgown.
Nobody that I haven't already seen. How about
No,
that?
I'm just saying. In
Yeah,
general,
I don't
think
either.
It's funny that we can all like, okay, well, nobody's admitting to watching porn. I get it. Okay.
No, I did. I
Oh,
raised
okay.
my hand
Well,
and
Nicole
everything.
admitted
She
that
did.
watched
So,
porn. All
so
right.
you might appreciate this. So me and Stilla went pre-gaming at the Bald Eagle location yesterday.
Why is this story following us talking about porn?
Well, and still will. That's something.
Who went?
If you'll just let the story progress.
That's the Bald
it's-
Eagle
okay.
location.
Instead of acting like me and trying to fucking rush things. So we're out there and we're driving around and we stop at this abandoned property and I'm kind of like looking there and we're about to pull out where there's this chick in like this Honda Civic, like a newer one, kind of stops and we're kind of trying to let her go. Well, the car has stopped. Well, we kind of go ahead and go and then she's like riding our ass and we let her around us. Anyway, we're continuing to go up and down this stretch looking for bald eagles, right? Because they're on the creek. And we finding them. And we found a set that was flying in tandem. They were speaking to each other. It was like, yeah, they were cacaing all over the place, dude. It's fucking magic. Well, we pull into this lot. It's like 85 acres for sale. And there ain't no roads. There's no electric. It's just like as is, right? And we're like, what are they asking for this? Like, it's on the Bald Eagle stretch of America, you know. Like, what is this? So we're trying to get up this, and he's like, fuck this. I'm not even going to go any farther. So we're coming out, and these two old boys saddle up next to us in this old truck. And the younger dude's in his mid-50s, and he had, like, his father-in-law with him. 'cause they
The
didn't-
younger dude's in his mid-50s?
Yeah, but he had, like...
Yeah!
It looked like his father-in-law with him, because they didn't look related. Anyway, his backup was, like, 70. He's like, what y'all doing out here?
That's how we talked.
I was like, man, we're out looking at the bald eagles, checking them out. What y'all really doing out here? You know, I was like, well, we're, interested in maybe buying some property. Well, that's going to cost you $2.1 million. Like, maybe. He's like, heard y'all was looking at that property down the road. It's like, yeah. And Stillwell goes, yeah, we were looking at it. And he goes, it's mine and it ain't for sale. Like, all right, man, well, we'll get out of your hair, We're just out here just looking at eagles.
Was it worth 2.1?
So I messaged James Gibson when we were heading out. And we were literally up there looking at bald eagles, and we found some. It was a productive voyage for what we were trying to do. But I messaged Gibson. I was like, hey, send him the shot of the billboard or whatever they had out there. And he was like, yeah, they're going 2.1 for it. And he's like, it's become, like, so Gravit's become what Farmington has been to Fayetteville. Right? You want to get a little bit more outside of town. And so these people are buying up these big swaths of land. Rich people moving into the neighborhood, you know. Just buying up big chunks. Gating it off.
Gonna cost you 2.1.
2.1 and grab it, dude.
Was anybody waiting for the porn
I
connection?
thought there was like really.
Oh, is there
I
supposed
kept
to be a
waiting.
porn
I kept
He said,
No,
well,
I
if
thought-
you would let me tell the story.
I was
like,
waiting.
well, what is
Like I say, I was trying to figure out how this was going to connect back to what we were talking about earlier.
I'll give you a real good
I don't
deal
remember
on
what
it.
we talking about.
Porn.
It's
I think-
$2.1 million if you
I
let
think
me.
$2.1 million.
Man, I got us
for-
off with the porn line.
Now
What an
that'd be
asshole. See how he's bitching, Brittany? This is what you got to do with hosting a podcast. You try and get it off the porn, and they just suck you back in. But Nicole, please go on with what
I
are
don't
you filming
recall
tomorrow night?
Not filming anything tomorrow night. What?
Let's
How
film.
did we go from porn to what are you filming?
I'm not filming.
Oh, I thought we were
don't
talking about
have,
porn.
No, I don't have cameras running
Oh.
actively. Yeah,
Did you say yes?
I have. Right, you know I have the cameras.
When are you going to go,
I
like, video?
just don't know.
And are you going to go video Spotify, or are you going to try and get it?
Mm-hmm.
You trying?
You should do the Twitter Spaces or whatever. It's pretty successful.
I don't know what
Or
that
X, whatever.
is. No, I don't know what that is. But I'm not going on TikTok.
Truth
I don't
Social
want anything to
Clippets.
TikTok.
I think
Truth
it's probably
Social.
her market.
What's that mean?
That's Trump's platform.
I would definitely not be on that. I'm not all anti-Trump.
I
I'm just
know,
not
I'm just
for
giving you
him.
shit.
I'm very eager to see what's going to happen. That's what I'm
Ain't we all?
eagerly anticipating the future.
I think Trump's eagerly anticipating what he's going to do too, because I don't think he knows what the fuck he's doing.
It'll be interesting 4 years to know, to see.
Think
Yeah, I
you'll
respect your
think you'll
opinion.
still be doing your show in 4 years?
I don't know, man. It's day to day, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to get through life.
Yeah.
I'd like to be.
If he's alive, he decides, still wants to be
If he
here.
wakes up and decides to do another podcast.
It is a good thing, I think.
I think that
ultimately.
gives me something to shoot
Good
for.
thing.
At least 4 more years. I'll elect myself for another term.
It is good to know someone else who does it, though.
It's cool. It's awesome. It's pretty easy stuff.
You're going to know 3 more people, supposedly,
More people.
that are going to be having podcasts
That's true.
in 2025.
Who else has started podcasts?
You've listened to my show recently, haven't you?
Yeah, listen.
Hal's gonna be starting his show.
Yeah, I know about that one.
Anastasia's gonna be doing her show,
I know about
and
that
then a couple in Little Rock. She is going to be starting, so I'm gonna be traveling
Okay.
to Little
I
Rock to
didn't know
get her
about that
started on her show. So, and then Shauna's starting her show, so that's technically 4, but only 3 under the umbrella of Urban Dictionary.
Shauna would have me on.
Shauna would have you on in a freaking heartbeat.
I want to be one I want to be in the early episodes.
I think she may have recorded her first one the other night. I don't know. She just
Man, bitch needs to slow down. I need to get in on the first 5.
first 5. I'll let her know.
Oh, I'll let her know.
And then,
Is she recording in your studio, or?
She has her own.
She has her own studio?
She's got her own setup.
Nice.
So.
Dude, it's so easy nowadays. I remember in the 90s it being easy because things were going digital. Because you had to have reel to reel. Like, you had to have room for reel to reel, and you had to buy tape. You had to cut tape. Like, it was a science.
Mm-hmm.
And then things went digital in the 90s. People got spoiled. Like, everybody had a fucking band. Everybody could do, not great recordings, but good enough recordings to get you booked. Like demos. Just out of the house.
I was thinking about something more that's even more relatable than that is a camera. Like, you used to buy film, and you would try and make that, you would try and do what you thought that the film was going to do, and you had, like, no knowledge whatsoever. You would take it to a developer, you pay for it, and you'd get back what you took. And there was no question about whether it was good or it's bad. Like, you did it, all they did was process the film. But you never knew exactly what you were getting until you opened up that package.
Yeah.
And that's something that people in general will never know or they'll forget about. Now everybody has their phone.
That delayed
They
gratification.
can compose and see exactly what that photo is going to look like, and they're like, boom, and that was the one that you got. And you never really knew, and like, of course, if you set up your camera and stuff, you had an understanding of what it would look like. But I'm talking about if you had just a normal film camera with your family and stuff, you're taking photos, you didn't know what it was going to turn out to be. So
we had that conversation with my 17-year-old Christmas Day, because she got it's Polaroid branded, but it's a digital camera that you can review it before you print it, and then it prints it off on a little 2x3 printer. And the fact that when we were growing up, you could take all the selfies that you wanted, but you really didn't do it because you didn't want to risk not getting a good shot. And now she can take a digital camera and take
you choose
17,
what you get to print.
She can take 17 shots and then decide what's the right one to print.
The actual digital photographers too. I mean, their entire profession changed once digital came around, because now, I mean, it depends on what kind of memory space you have, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, they can take 1,500 photos in a 30-minute time span, and they can find that exact perfect moment between all of those. And then what are you losing once you delete all those? Nothing. You get your space back.
Yeah.
Well, you want to bust those props out?
No, I was trying to find my Banaka. Did you guys ever use a Banaka?
Are you saying I have
the spray?
No,
I'm like,
I was getting it for myself, but no, it's like Crest
Yeah,
now.
I know what it is.
They don't have Banaka anymore, but I have a little thing of Crest. I was going to use it.
You want some mouthwash? You want some Crest mouthwash?
There's some lime juice
Are you
right there.
feeling unfresh?
I really wanted to just give myself a little squirt, refresher squirt.
Let's see.
Banaka.
I mean,
It's the hottest
that's a
thing I heard all
soundbite
day.
right there, Lee.
Uh-huh.
That's the way I call the podcast, Refresher Squirt.
Refresher squirt.
For the new year. The new year is here. Like,
I'm not looking forward
Who's
to it.
going to be the next Hawk Tua?
Ooh. I think it could be you, Nicole.
It's not me. No.
So isn't that
See,
bitch-
that's what she
Ew.
said was 2024.
Isn't she in trouble for some, like, crypto shit?
What happened?
Rug pull.
Haley Wells?
She
Yeah.
sold, like, some
Rug
crypto
pull.
coin. Do you know what the deals are?
I heard there's the pump and dump. What they did
For her
So-
own coin.
Yeah,
For her
yeah,
own
yeah.
coin
She got
now.
talked into setting up her own meme coin.
I think it was probably called Hawk Tua or something.
Talk
like that,
to a
probably.
coin, something like that.
She got involved with some guys, and they marketed that thing like crazy. She did too, and it went up.
But
She was
went
hot
down.
tooing all the way to the bank.
It'd be-
She has
I
she has
wonder
talk
how
shows, like
how
talk to her or something, right?
yeah, it'd be
Talk
interesting
to her,
who made money
Jesus.
on that. A lot of people lost.
That's how it always works,
Have
right?
you ever tried to manage a rock band, Lee?
No, I haven't tried to manage a rock band.
You should.
Why?
I think you'd be good at it. Just going out with these guys doing heroin and cocaine, trying to get them on stage every night. They're drawing in millions of people, but you gotta, facilitate.
I don't
I
see
think
that.
I'd
Yeah.
watch that show.
Yeah.
You're like the guy in charge, right? With all these, like, basically Guns N' Roses.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen all those managers before, so you're not building me a lot of credibility there.
I'd love to watch it. No, I'm just saying, I think you
But
could
maybe-
do
You're
it.
right. They're all big and hairy and do cocaine and prostitutes.
And then you gotta come in there and crash the fucking world down on, bust some heads, right? Like, the show must go on. I could see you in that role. Like,
How the hell
yeah,
did we get here?
dude.
I don't know, but it seems like the joke's on me.
No, it's not.
I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck we got
I
here.
have no idea.
Hot tour girl.
That's what I mean. How did we get from there to there?
You don't
I
seem
don't know
like
how
a
we
bat
got
cracker to
to
me. Like I don't see like going and like, you better get this show on. I think you're off the mark, Brad, a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean,
see
are
him
you
as
sure
like
you
a
weren't
Rip
thinking about
Wheeler.
Austin before the beard shave? Like that could fit.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks. Throw me back on
Now you gotta bring that up, man.
He ain't been
He's
looking
gonna
at me
block
this whole
him out again
podcast.
physically.
He's been ignoring me.
I'm just hoping he stays off camera. I've been off camera this
been
whole fucking
terrible.
episode, apparently.
I know.
About half of it.
That's alright.
You need 2 cameras.
I know. I should have prepared.
Need a monitor or a camera that's up higher for sure.
Yeah.
This gives us all an extra 200 pounds.
Oh, you're bitching about weight?
Yeah. I'm gonna start doing carnivore.
You should, dude. But you should catch your own. Like, you should livestock deer. Like, just go out into the wilderness and just wait naked.
I did
By
try
a
to buy.
tree for like
I did try.
24
I
hours.
definitely hear 5 coming up here.
Yeah?
So
Yeah, they're all around.
just before the bridge. So
Yes, we saw them.
They're pretty.
Yeah.
they almost became dinner.
Just raise them like livestock.
Raise them like life. Dude, we came across one. We came around the bend the other day, right by the bridge, and there's this buck just running alongside the fence line. He can't cross because it's all overgrown. This thing's a monster. I don't know if I should tell the story on the podcast. Anyway, the kids were excited to see the deer. I'll tell you the rest later. But it was a beautiful sight. Ran alongside us for a while. You got a deer in your front yard, right? You got executed and y'all strung that fucker up.
That was
Cut it up, had it for Thanksgiving dinner, right?
No, it turned out it had a little infection that had spread, so all the meat was bad.
Oh,
So all the
no.
work for nothing. Yeah, there was a deer that just came like limping down our street. Somebody had shot it in the woods behind us.
Austin, did you take that meat and eat it?
Well, hell no. I helped gut it. That's all I did.
I know you helped gutted it.
We didn't know who else to call. We
I
don't.
figured you'd be like, nah, that meat ain't bad. I'll eat it.
It's like you can help and string this deer up.
That's wild. Oh man.
Fuck Austin the mechanic. It's more babyface Austin.
What?
Babyface Austin. He got them baby
I don't
cheeks
know what he
still.
looked like before. I don't remember what.
Have you not seen a more trustworthy face than right now? Look at him.
If you
I
saw
think
me
I couldn't
tomorrow
believe-
without a beard, if I was just clean shaven, it would weird you out, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Right.
I think
He
there's
didn't
a
have a full
picture of you
beard,
in the
did he?
bathroom.
No, just a mustache.
I mean,
Just
this
a mustache.
picture's
So
weird.
I mean, it's
Without a
not
beard.
that big of a
It just
difference.
weirds me out.
I think maybe it looks like Snoopy, a little cute and a little handsome.
Snoopy.
If I were
I-
to
Everybody loves Snoopy.
I watched Charlie Brown Christmas the other day.
See, I just try to find the good in.
Snoopy.
Of course,
You know what's got? Have y'all started?
Snoopy's
Have y'all
kind of a
started
grumpy
cutting
old
out
bitch.
Christmas
He is.
specials?
That's what I was gonna say.
Have
Sort of an
y'all?
asshole.
Festivals?
You got no
Specials?
specials. Like your kids are kind of far apart, so you got a weird deal. Like, do y'all still watch Christmas specials at all?
I mean, we watch things like
Die Hard.
Christmas Story. We didn't watch that one this year, actually. But we watched A Christmas Story, Elf, I mean, stuff like that, but not going back to the old Rudolphs
But you've
and
got a
Santa
few that
Claus.
We
you've
had
kept
those
around.
on.
See,
We had
like
those on.
Yeah.
we used to like to try and watch them all, like because we had kids of varying ages, so they all
Yeah.
like this was the first year we got to like get rid of a bunch of specials, which was
Sweet.
nice.
That was Christmas.
I sat around and watched things like,
No, I mean
We're murdering Christmas.
yeah.
well, no, like
Kill
some
it
of the
off.
specials you're watching, like Emmett Otter's Christmas. You know,
What?
like
Huh?
it was a Jim Henson production. It's actually
Really?
pretty funny. It's so bad it's good. Yeah, it's about this kid
Sounds
saving
like you
up to
should've kept it.
buy a guitar, but his dad was a worthless piece of shit and got himself killed. So every year they make fun of. Remember when Dad was so worthless he couldn't even cut down a Christmas tree, so he'd bring us a Christmas branch? Yeah, your pa was a worthless piece of shit, but God, we loved him. And I mean, they didn't use it. It was a family show. They didn't use that language, but they would like just demean this past father as being just a worthless.
Damn.
Like, we're glad he's dead,
It's
man.
pretty good. You should watch it.
Hallmark movies, man. Hallmark
Oh,
movies.
man. It's so bad it's good.
It's so bad it's good.
But this year the kids are like, man, we ain't got time for that shit. Like, we're going to watch The Grinch and we're going to watch Christmas Vacation.
We had Grinch on.
Grinch was on, yeah.
We watched
Jim Carrey Grinch is the one we love.
It's a Wonderful Life this year. I made the kids watch
shit.
that. And
Yeah, how'd they take to that?
not great.
No.
Not
I
very.
hate that
No,
movie.
I liked it a lot, dude.
Do you?
It turned out I was the only one in there for like the last 45 minutes of the movie. Everybody else was gone.
Not surprised.
I was like, you guys is getting really good.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No.
It's not.
Miracle on 34th Street, I can get behind that one. Holiday Inn, White Christmas. Those
Christmas
old
is
ones I
fucking
like to
classic.
watch. So
Anybody see Red One?
Yeah.
Oh, that was really good.
That was Christmas
What?
Eve.
You saw it?
We all sat down for Christmas Eve and watched that one. So
What do you think?
We went and seen it in theater. And
Yeah?
Yeah. It was a good take. I mean, the kids liked it. And I liked some of the views, so I mean, it was a well balanced. You know?
Dude, the
Nice.
Krampus stuff, dude, I thought that was cool, dude. I was
Yeah.
like pleasantly surprised. I was pissed that I was being forced to watch that movie, and like halfway through, I was like trying not to let anyone know that I was like enjoying it.
I enjoyed it.
I was like, dude, this is actually.
You didn't want to go?
No, hell no.
Really?
I don't like to watch like The Rock and Chris Evans and Nick Kroll. I don't know.
How about Dear Santa? It was a Netflix one.
Yeah.
That one
That's
sucked.
the Jack Black one.
But Jack Black.
Yeah, we keep meaning to watch
That
that.
one.
So stupid.
That one.
Is it dumb?
Terrible.
I expected more.
I did.
really
We did
I was
too.
so let down.
Everyone. I ended up watching all but like the last 15 minutes. Everyone else left like
That's when he
30
turns
minutes
to a real
in.
boy.
So it was just. It was bad. So
Yeah, it looks bad. The trailer looks bad.
the trailer actually looked better than what the show actually turned out
I
to
didn't think
be.
the
So,
trailer good.
but yeah, no. Red One was. My family's overall view was it was good, but it was drawn out and too long. They could have shortened it down by probably 30 minutes or more, and I thought it was fine. But
I thought it was a fairly short movie.
I
It's
don't
2
know.
hours.
It's yeah.
Is it?
It's actually a fairly long one. It's
It
overall.
could have been 30 minutes shorter. Than...
So Max comes to me one day and he goes, "Have you seen Jack Black's playing Santa in a movie?" And I was like, "No, but I thought he was playing Satan in the movie." And he goes, "Let's watch the trailer." And so when you watch it, like the first thing in the trailer is the kid writing the letter to Santa, and he like misinterprets, like sends it to Satan.
Somebody was talking about that. Yeah, they're like
the dyslexia.
Right, but
dyslexia,
Max
yeah.
clarified. He was like, "So we're both right."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're both right. But then it just, we were gonna watch it. Just never happened.
Don't waste
There's
your
a
time.
couple. Like, this is the first year we didn't watch Home Alone 6 times.
How many times did you watch it?
3.
0.
Really?
You watched it 3?
Yeah.
House is for sale.
Is it?
Home Alone House.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, we always watch that one a lot. We actually watched the 3rd and the 4th one this year.
There's a 3rd and 4th one.
I watched the 3rd one. I thought it was not that bad. I did not watch the 4th one.
No, don't waste your time. It's kind of like the Star Wars.
Yeah.
They killed it.
Well, I was really surprised at the 3rd one. I didn't mind
Yeah,
it
once you
that
kill
much. I was like, oh, it doesn't even have Macaulay, but it wasn't that bad.
What's dead can never die.
But
Man, we kind of grew up spoiled in the, like, the 70s through the 90s with movies. Like, practical effects and people who really cared about, like, the characters and the story and that whatever they were doing.
There's
They
a lot of
weren't-
character building that's
Yeah,
doesn't happen now.
Stuff that just doesn't happen now. Now you it's all sequels and rebranding and rebook. Like, there was such a creative age back then. Nobody was doing it. You know, you had movies in the 30s and 40s and 50s, and it was all this stagnant, just human drama bullshit that kind of got tired. And then you started seeing, especially coming out of Japan, like these monster movies, right? With these rubber puppets. But, you know, it was different. You know, it kind of got caught on in America, and then...
Yeah, but you have a thing for Godzilla.
I do have a thing for Godzilla, but it's still a wild thing to, like, know how that got started. You know? Just building tiny models of Japan to have some rubber.
Yeah.
What's your favorite version of Godzilla? Like old school rubber suit, looking.
Matthew Broderick.
Then you got your Matthew Broderick.
What?
No,
You flipped me off.
It was the 80s. It was what they refer to as the Hesai era. So, like, he got rebooted with, like, in 84. That era was... It was pretty tight, continuity-wise. Because in the 60s, they were all pretty much standalones. It's cheesy shit after cheesy shit. And some of them were decent. But that was when they kind of started taking it seriously. I didn't like any of the American ones.
Really? The Matthew Broderick one, that was one of the first movies that I owned, like, on VHS. That was, like, my movie. I love that movie. The chick was so hot, I thought, dude.
The chick was hot. Who was the chick in that?
I don't know. She was hot, dude. That blonde girl.
What year did you graduate?
09.
So you were fucking 11
yeah, that's pretty good. Right?
Graduated in 09. Wow.
Whoops.
How old are you?
34. I just turned 34, yeah.
Was that a judgy look? Why are you judging his age?
Oh, no judgment there.
He's ranking.
Does that matter?
He's the youngest one.
What year were you born?
90.
There you go.
Okay.
You thought he was saying he was born in 09. That was a confusion on your face.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was like...
I get it now. I'm good.
Oh, and how old would you be if you were born in 09?
15.
You look a little older than 15.
I am a little bit.
Still graduating in 09 just seems like not too long ago.
I didn't graduate, actually, so...
Oh, God. I always gotta fucking bring that up. It's the same with Alex, too. It's like, oh, I didn't graduate. You can't... Graduation triggers people.
Like putting on the robe and getting a handshake? Or
Yeah, exactly that. Alright, nobody's gonna drink out legal. We're gonna wrap this shit up. We've been going forever.
Look at
3 hours and 8 minutes?
3 hours, goddamn.
And 9 minutes right now.
Oh, if Brittany would have been on camera, we could have gone for a whole other hour at least.
Love what you've done with
Time to
the
go watch
Christmas,
Beetlejuice.
though.
Beetlejuice.